right, let's do a cheers to the Sobeys and Safer Liquid Beer for the podcast.
Be right again.
I love you guys.
Careful, that cake's hot.
Check-in, come on, let's go. It's the AM Nasty Big Hello. Hello! It's not static, AM radio. It's the Cool Bed Red Hot Nielson Show. Let's go. Everybody tuning in, even my wife.
Mommy likes too.
And those Macromella intros are cutting like a knife. Hey, it's Mitch texting in, he's your dealer for life. Let's crack a 6 o'clock and lager with some sirloin bites.
And a good Monday morning to you. Welcome to the Nielson Show with Lieutenant Eric. I am your host, Dustin Nielson, alongside Lieutenant Eric. How are you doing today, Eric?
I'm fantastic. You're shot out of a cannon. It's as if the loss of a Dustin Nielson is much like the loss of a Connor McDavid. You came to play.
I actually was called Leon Draisaitl of EST last week because of all of this. So I guess this is my 6 points in 2 games or whatever
That's
it is.
right.
Matt Awanek, Will Fraser, YouTube Trev with you here on this Monday morning. I am not Dustin Nielson for those listening on the audio stream going, Dusty really sounds a little weird after that illness.
Yeah, it didn't go well.
And you should know what Will Fraser sounds like that I shouldn't have to explain that that's not. Lieutenant Eric with you here. I don't know when Dusty's going to be back. That's I'm not going to lie. I don't know when I can say Dusty's back. Eric's back tomorrow morning. After his nice trip to Regina, which we'll get to in a bit. I don't know when Dusty's back. I won't be back tomorrow because Eric will be back tomorrow, though. But yeah, Dusty's still down for the 3 count.
Yeah, it is a bad sign when I'm the most consistent thing here. That is not good. That is not a good sign. Here's the text I got from Dustin yesterday, out of the blue, without prompting.
Well, there was a little bit from somebody else.
Yeah, I was going to say somebody else probably prompted this text, but hey, man, thanks for filling in. Great job with Eric. I'm going to the doctor's on Monday morning, so if they can kill this thing, Maddie will likely be in touch with you. The most cryptic, I don't know what he's trying to say. There's not a request attached to this.
Well, I'm glad that I know what the text was. Because when he texted me yesterday morning, and I had a feeling this was coming because on Saturday he texted our group chat saying, I'm battling through this game, boys. I was like, okay, Sunday he's going to tell me he's not doing the show this week. I asked him to reach out to you.
Uh-huh. That's reaching out for him.
Well, and it was like, can you reach out to Will? Because it's your agreement with him. And can you reach out? And then he texts me back. He's like, I text Will, thanks, and you'll be in touch. I was like, okay, I guess I'm in touch with Will here. Yeah. But it's nice to know that that's what that was, which is, the very least, I think it should have just been, well, I really appreciate everything this week.
Yeah. Yeah. I get the text and I read it to my wife and she's like, what does that mean? I was like, I don't know. And I'm not going to react to it until Awanek gets in touch with me. It could just be Dustin was out at Cook County and is just getting home. But no, he has decided after missing an entire World Series, I think I might need to go see a doctor.
Yeah. He's going today, based off your text.
Yeah.
He's going today. So we'll get some sort of update.
Yeah.
All of EST Nation awaits. The Nasties await the doctor's appointment. Maybe Dusty should stream this.
I feel like I should read your text as well, because it's peak Matty Owanek. In that the old see you next Tuesday is cranked up to 11 on this.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was being nice. That's not good.
It goes like this. I think Dustin mentioned I'd be reaching out. There is no timeline now for him. He's going to the doctor. He's going to a doctor today, I believe, to get real medicine. Yeah, that's what I was like. Yep. Yeah, that was from Matthew Owanek.
Yeah, well, he also texted me. He's like, I got to get some. Well, I think he said I got to get some better medicine than the over-the-counter stuff. So, well, he's not getting better.
Yeah.
At some point, we're now at a week, and he hasn't gone better. So, better be going to see a real doctor.
What have you been taking, Dustin? Hot sauce. I've been using hot sauce to treat this chest infection.
And now it's like I don't even think Gager could mock him for the fact that he said he's the perfect embodiment of health.
Never has been, never will be.
But he claimed it.
The arrogance of it, right?
He fully claimed it. By the way, the Nielson Show, it is brought to you by South Ford Chev. Drive a little, save a lot. Go see Daniel and his family-friendly team at South Ford Chev and tell them EST sent you and get an additional $1,000 credit your trade-in vehicle. They won't be beaten on any price. Find the best deal you think you can, and then take it out to the fort, and they will beat it. We're live from the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen Studio here on the West End. Your thoughts always welcome in the Nasty Chat, or you can jump into the Paris Jewelers inbox, 780-218-9999, where you could possibly win text of the day for a GC to A and W. I'll have to try to figure out a way to keep track of those texts, but send those in. We've got a jam-packed show today. As I was prepping it yesterday, I was like, there's a lot. There's not a lot of time for Will and I to just
I says to myself, we got a real show in front of us here.
We do. We got to get to that's good from the Italian Center. We got to get to good, bad, and ugly. We got to get to Matt Dunigan of TSN to talk about the weekend in the Canadian Football League. That's in the first hour. In the second hour, Darren Dreger, TSN Insider for Pro-Am Sports. We got to get to the EST Flyaway Keyword, Cool Bet Hotline of the Day. Mike Tanier will stop by to talk some NFL. We got the Fan Zone to get to for Fans First. That's in the second hour. Then in the final hour, kind of easy trivia. 3 questions too many. That hurts for James H. Brown. Ryan Rishaug, Orange and Blue Breakfast, and the Wrap.
Wow.
We're going to get a lot.
I'm glad I showed up.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. I'm very glad you showed up as well. If you couldn't be doing today, we would have been in real trouble. Oh, no, but I was supposed to be you and Dusty.
Yeah, I was supposed to be you and Dusty. Always locked in.
Yeah.
I'm
glad
it's
you're here
everything
for the
else
next.
that's a little scrambled. Like I said, the most consistent thing on this show, I'm not supposed to be a part of this show.
But we're all glad you are, Will.
I guess so.
We could also throw out conches. How about a conch to Will Fraser for being the most consistent part of this show?
Yeah.
You deserve that one. You absolutely
I
deserve
appreciate
that
that.
one.
Thank you.
Let's get to our morning announcements, which is brought to you by 100.3 The Bear. I don't have a liner for this. I don't know what I'm fully supposed to say, so I'm just going to speak from the heart.
Yeah, do it.
You Can McCord, fantastic morning show. Go check them out. Do you know what's better than You Can McCord?
This one?
Jess Jackson in the afternoons. Oh, Jess is way better than You Can McCord.
Yeah.
You drive home with Jess Jackson, all 100.3 The Bear. You can listen to it on iHeartRadio, where you can also listen to Edmonton Sports Talk. It's perfect.
Oh.
I miss Jess. I miss the other boys, too.
Not as much as Jess, though.
I haven't seen Jess in... Oh, she was at the Estes. I saw Jess there.
She was at the Estes.
She did come to the Estes. Her and Danny showed up. What?
I miss her, too. I wasn't invited to the Estes, so that's all.
It was an open invitation. You just had to send me $10 and he got a ticket.
Okay. Yeah, that would probably be why I didn't go.
Morning announcements. I got to bring Trevin here for a little bit.
Oh, he's walking on a cloud.
Screw.
This
Where's
young
your
man-
mic sock?
I think I took
Couldn't
it.
find it.
No, yours isn't. It's not his. He's got one like mine that's a little more square. Did Hernan take it?
I don't know. I thought I packed it up. I've been doing a really good job with that, Maddie.
Okay. Until I show up here this morning. Well, I might have just got lost because you had a big move this weekend. It was also your birthday yesterday, so happy belated.
Oh, thanks, buddy. Appreciate that.
How was the move?
The move was okay. It was not bad. I mean, as far as moves go, I'm surprised everything I was able to get, the most of everything downstairs because it was a very tight entrance. But I have one more load to do.
We've been talking about this move
I know. For over a
every
year.
morning that I've showed up for. I cannot believe how long this is taking.
Dude,
I can't believe
for them trying to find a place.
like I
It
can't
took over like a year probably.
Zach came in and said, I got a practicum, did my practicum, and got hired
Right.
in the time that it's taken you to find a place. It's
Correct.
been hard. It's been
Yeah.
a tough journey.
It was
In fact,
tricky.
which do you think happens first? Dustin returns to the show or he actually is completely moved?
He's finished move.
Oh, I'm getting it all done today. Right after this, I'm heading back to the old place, grabbing the last few boxes, and then, we'll be on my way, and I'll be set. And I cannot wait. But, the move was good. I'm very happy with how it all came together. The dad and mom actually were very nice to come on up and help the young boy out, which was very nice of him. And, it was a good weekend all in all, and I'm so thankful for it. They gave me a couch. I got a new bed, TV stand as well. I got lots of stuff, so it's pretty cool. It looks homey in
You're
there now.
only in this mood because the Oilers won yesterday, though, right? Like,
I'm just in a good mood. Yesterday was a great day. I can't remember. Like it was the birthday. The Oilers get the dub on my birthday.
get the dub against the Flames.
Yeah, I mean, I can't. That's the first time that's happened in my life. So it was awesome. Unfortunately, though, Wi-Fi. I'm getting it set up tomorrow morning. Shout out Lucas Holt. He's coming over, and that'll be a fun time.
Oh, he might never leave.
yeah. So that'll be cool. But it was a good game. I wasn't able to watch it though because I don't have Wi-Fi yet. And that was tough. So I started watching it on my phone, but then it got old very quick.
It got old quick?
Well, yeah, because I mean,
Too
it's my
small?
phone, and my dad's just like, here, like, let's set your phone up on the TV stand, and we're on like the couch, like 12 feet away. And I'm like, this isn't working. I don't like this.
Not enough people have Chromecasts.
Well, you still
Or
need
casting.
Wi-Fi for that, though.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have the
Doesn't
Wi-Fi.
even matter.
Yeah.
But all in all, it was great. Had so much fun, and then went partying, and that was also very fun. That's why it was hurting. I was hurting yesterday, and we had a lot to do still, but I battled through it because I'm a champ.
Yeah. I hope.
Because I'm just
everyone-
like my hat says.
It snowed this
be
weekend
clutch.
because he moved. That's what always happens.
Oh, it was the worst thing. Like my dad was driving up. The folks were driving up. I'm like, it's snowing. ... And he's like, how bad? I'm like, it's not bad right now, but it's still
barely snowed.
Yeah, but it's still annoying.
It's more just ice in the
'Cause it
air.
just-
like it wasn't even
because
like
you're
big flakes.
You're
It was
walking
kinda
into the
just-
new place, and then I had to buy
You have to take your-
get a mop.
You have to be careful. Tracking on the snow.
Oh my
It's a brand
It
new
was-
place, Will.
Yeah, the floor.
Whereas if it was all clean out, then you're fine. If it's a little dirty, you could take it a vacuum and vacuum it up.
Yeah.
You don't want to get everything wet.
and
it was
thanks,
not that hard.
nasties.
It was not, and no one was sweating. Like it kept the body temp
That
down.
was nice.
Yeah.
But I just didn't like the snow. I wish it was like yesterday, because yesterday was cold but sunny.
Will and I still just can't believe how much you had to move.
It's insane to me.
I have quite a bit of stuff. Like I'm gonna do a tour, and you guys are gonna see. But like, it's actually, my dad, like the folks were just like, holy crap, like
Okay, you
was not expecting this.
Were you in an apartment or what were you in before?
No, I had a bedroom, and then
Yeah, inside like a house though, or an
like a
apartment?
townhouse.
Okay, so you had one room.
Yes.
Did you take stuff from any of other parts of this house, or was it just from this one room?
Just from the one room, but I still needed a little bit more. Like there's still quite a bit stuff in my room, and then I have quite a few boxes in the garage. I just got.
Like, why do you have this much stuff?
Well, I don't know who else is going to take it.
No,
How did you get all this stuff?
It's
Is
like-
what Will's asking in
I
the
guess
first
it's like
place.
I don't know. Like I just got a lot of it just over the years, and I'm talking years. Okay, 26 of them. It just accumulates, and here we are.
you are early stager.
I'm not.
stages
Don't
of
say it.
that hoarder.
No,
right?
no,
like
no,
you are.
no. I'm not.
If you are not learning the life
Oh my
skills of
gosh.
how to get rid of stuff now, it's not like you just turn it on. Like,
it's all stuff that is very fond to me. Like
yeah, this is. What do you think
like-
the hoarding
like my-
instinct is?
like
man?
my Lego and
Like-
my Bakugans and my Beyblades.
You still have your Beyblades?
Oh yeah, I have
Like
a
old
lot.
school.
Are they
like
worth
heavy ones?
anything?
No.
So then why do you still have them?
Because I every now and then I like to play my Beyblades with myself. There's nothing wrong with that.
What do you mean
Maddie.
you play with yourself? Don't you need to play other people?
Yeah, you can, but if you have two set, you just go, okay, boom, boom, let's go, and then you just watch. It's very fun. Maybe I can bring them in sometime.
Sure. Why
Well,
not?
it'd be better
Will?
to bring them in and
Yeah.
get more use out of it than just stuck in
Yeah, but I'll be
the
able to
basement or whatever.
play a lot of Beyblades now, so I cannot wait. Just so much room for extra
Of
activities.
all the things to move up
Keep the
for,
Beyblades down.
gotta get those Beyblades going.
Yeah. But all in all, yes, thank you to the Nasties. Happy birthday. Really appreciate that. It was a great weekend. And I'm just so much happier. I love being able to just come home and just have a place of your own. It's very refreshing and just nice. I like it. I can get used to this.
I'm very happy that you finally have your place, Trev. You
Thank you.
deserve it.
Oh, thank you, man.
And your Beyblades.
Oh,
Your Beyblades
Appreciate
deserve this
this.
even more, I think.
Thank you.
Now they could come out
thank you so
in
much.
the open. There's
Absolutely. Thank you, Will.
This doesn't end well. This is the beginnings of
what do you mean doesn't end well? Like
his,
a hoarding?
His hoarding instinct.
Oh yeah, no, he'll be
Oh,
on
no.
TLC.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Some extreme hoarder show or something like that.
Yeah.
It started as one box.
Yeah.
I have 30
They
now.
they will talk about you on Storage Wars one of these days.
I've always wanted to go buy a
Yeah, exactly.
storage.
Like they'll rip it open, they'll all bid on it, and they'll spend the rest of the episode going, "There's nothing in here of value." Why
Trev found that was rude.
Why did this guy spend $120 a month on a storage bin for this?
I got some cool rocks as well. Lots of rocks.
You're not helping yourself right now.
I'll
with
be
Will.
able to put on
You're
display.
not helping yourself.
Okay.
How about a conch for Trev's move in his
Yes.
birthday? There you go.
That's good.
Scott on a hotel balcony in Beaumont. Who'll be back first? Dusty or McDavid?
Right. No, honestly. That's not crazy. It's barely funny. Like now I'm laughing
But it's
about
kind
it.
of.
But it like yeah, we honestly don't know. We don't know his illness because he has yet to see an actual doctor. He has been sick
Well-
for over 8 days straight.
Yeah,
And-
but you'll just heal on your own, Will.
No, the big man won't. Never has. Isn't going to. Like,
Yeah, if there's anyone who understands what it's like when Dusty's
Yeah.
sick and that. I'm glad you're here.
yeah.
Also, morning announcement, CFL playoffs this weekend. They played on Saturday. I actually found them both to be quite exciting.
Well,
Until Toronto kind of took away,
not if
like
you're
in the
Red
second
Blacks
half.
fan. Yeah,
Hey, you got to the playoffs this year.
it's true. But man,
No one
did
was
you ever get your
expecting
head
that.
caved in?
was
it
tight.
58 points you gave up?
Yeah, third quarter is where the Argos
That's wild.
just took over in that football game. If I could pull up what it was at halftime here quickly.
Like 38 points is a bad number to give up.
It was 23-20 for the Red Blacks at half.
Mm-hmm.
So you had a nice lead, or not, but you had
Wow.
the lead going
You
into
had a lead,
halftime. And then it was a 14-point third quarter for Toronto,
Yeah.
only scoring 3. And then Toronto put up a 24 in the fourth. But there was a few garbage
Just
time
put
points
the
on that
gas pedal down.
one. The Argos, to me, I wasn't feeling confident after the first quarter, but they're the team that I just felt was easily going to take the East.
Yeah.
They've been playing good football over the last little while. The Owls have not been playing good football, and I didn't just trust the Red Blacks. And they showed it once again. Now, can they go do that in Montreal and out west, where our own Lieutenant Eric was at? Riders getting a big win against the BC Lions.
Yep.
Their defense
was an
stood up.
exciting game.
That was an exciting game. Defense stood up for the Riders, got their turnovers. The A did all he could, but Keon Hatcher wasn't getting it done.
Yep.
Sean White not getting it done.
Yep.
Missed a couple field goals in that game, and that would have been a huge difference at certain points in that game. So
At least for the momentum of it, right?
for momentum,
Yeah.
big time.
Yeah, it seemed like every time BC had anything going their way, it was snuffed out. And Saskatchewan just kept reestablishing their own momentum throughout.
And I don't know, there was at least a couple of times the Lions were able to get right. We're in the red zone.
Yeah.
Or as Rob Black used to say, the green zone.
The green zone.
And they just couldn't punch it in the end zone. And that was the difference. So the Riders' defense really stepping up. It sets up a fun showdown, I think, on Saturday. When the Blue
field
Bombers are hosting the
advantage
Riders.
was a difference.
Yeah.
Like
Actually, the Toronto had 18,000 fans, too.
Yeah,
them.
like if
Credit
you're
to them.
Saskatchewan, the noise in that building made a difference. So, and I know Rough Rider fan doesn't need any more pats on the back, but as far as team and fan base, they both paid each other off, right? Saskatchewan got a home playoff game, and the Saskatchewan fans showed up for them. So I don't know what happens in Winnipeg. I don't know if I would be ever betting against the Bombers, but
Well, it was a couple of years ago. The Riders went there and almost won. They took them right to the end, those Bombers. So I wouldn't be so sure to bet against the Riders, but also at the same time, you look at the Labor Day set, the back-to-back. Bombers just, at home, really took care of business. That's your morning announcements for 100.3 The Bear. Keep those requests coming in for conches. No, I'm not going to give a conch to Liverpool. To LFC fan, no, it's not happening. No, when I'm on this show, they'll never get a conch when I'm on this show. Now
you're a sicko. Why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't I? It'd be like giving a conch to a Calgary Flames right now on Edmonton radio. I'm a Manchester United fan. Why would I give a conch to Liverpool?
Calgary didn't earn anything. Liverpool did.
Liverpool can screw off.
Yeah.
Morning after show. The Edmonton Oilers, they beat the Calgary Flames yesterday. A good game by the Edmonton Oilers. Like, it wasn't one of those flashy games or like brilliant games. Had a good first period. Got the lead. It did allow the Flames to come back in that game, but credit to the Oilers for finding a way to get that next goal.
Yeah, they went into
and then held on to it.
They went into prevent. I mean, when you don't have a Connor McDavid in your lineup, how do you win hockey games? Will you win it like every other team in the NHL does who doesn't have a Connor McDavid? Special teams, goaltending. Right? What's the story of last night's hockey game? Special teams, goaltending, right? Their power play finally delivered and delivered in a key moment with the game-winning goal. And Stuart Skinner, when tested, man, that guy came up with some big saves. You think of that late glove save that he had. I mean, he showed up. He was a little scrambly, but I kind of like Stuart Skinner when he's scrambling. I kind of.
It's a good point.
I kind of like him. Like when he's got a little bit of fight to him in those situations. It's not confidence inspiring.
No,
but I like scrambly Stuart Skinner.
But to that point, it's like the amount of times you see the tweets come out on Skinner's a little scrambly today.
Yeah.
All usually ends with, well, the Oilers got the victory.
Yeah.
Stuart Skinner 2 or less goals allowed.
Yeah.
Like, that's a pretty decent game for Stuart Skinner.
I kind of like Stu Skinner when he's scrambling out there. So credit the Oilers for figuring out the formula, and there's going to be a lot of ink spilled and a lot of talk between people about like, so what's different without Connor McDavid? To my eye, and it's only been 2 games, when they have a Connor McDavid, they are, let's put it generously, they are patient with their game.
I see what you're saying.
And without Connor McDavid, both games now, they have come out of the gate like they were shot out of a cannon, right? Like they have established an early lead through dominant play early. So that's your difference.
There's no break glass in case of emergency because Connor's here. We've got this because Connor's with us. Connor and Leon are together.
Yeah. No,
we're fine as long as we've got these both. Now you lose the top guy.
They are playing like they're trailing rather than leading. Right? When you've got a Connor McDavid, you feel like you've got a 1-2 goal lead before the puck is even dropped. And without a Connor McDavid, they seem like they're playing like they've got a 1-2 goal deficit that they need to make up as quickly as possible.
But Colson's really starting to come into his own too with
figuring
Leon
it out, right?
Yeah, with Leon together, it's working out really nicely for the Edmonton Oilers. And look, 2 wins without Connor McDavid so far. We'll see when he comes back. This is great, I think, for the Oilers, and this is great for Connor McDavid. Because this is one where you have to have that sit down with Connor and be like, if this keeps going and winning, dude, take your time. I know you want to come back as soon as you can. Maybe take an extra game or 2.
Yeah.
Maybe make sure you're not. Maybe don't put Tom had the report on Thursday that he took a little bit of a twirl on the ice.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't need to put the skate on right away. Maybe you can just hold off a little bit because this team's fine. Like as long as they could still also don't lose the next 4 or something.
Yeah.
But take your rest. Because October and November don't matter as much as being ready for April.
I would agree with you with any other hockey player out there, except for That's kind of what makes Connor McDavid. Right? And so Neil Brennan, he has a stand-up special where he talks about how I'm paraphrasing here, but he goes, I'm all for mental health except in my athletes. I want them to be mentally ill in the way that they are absolute maniacs.
But that's where you have to sit down and try to like get through to him.
No,
And be like, hey,
no.
you know, that game, what's a little bit of the Oilers' schedule coming up here? That game against the Islanders. Maybe we don't need you.
Yeah.
Maybe we don't need you. Or the game against the Preds. Maybe we don't need you.
Well, that's
or if it goes on to
that's
the road
just
trip,
true, right?
Maybe
Like-
if you're, the back-to-back Montreal, Ottawa, maybe you don't need to play that first game.
Yeah.
You could come back for the second or something.
No, something tells me, especially because the Oilers are winning, he's going to be champing at the bit even more to get back in, right? Like, I'm sure he is thrilled that this team is winning without him. But
What, is he worried about his job, Will?
No.
You say Connor's
No,
sitting there
no.
going, oh, this team's winning.
no, I just think that Connor McDavid lives for being on the ice and having success. And he is watching the team that he plays for have success, and he's not being a part of it. And I'm sure it is killing him a little bit.
And I would imagine, I understand that.
Yeah.
But I go make sure you are utterly 100% healthy.
It's just not the way he's wired, man.
Because you don't need a situation where it's like, I don't want to hear at any other point this year, well, that ankle's, No.
It's just not who he is.
I know, but that's where you have to try to get through to him. Like,
You're preaching load management. That's what you're
it's
doing.
not load. I'm not saying it
Who
throughout the
is he?
season.
Joel Embiid?
I pushed his. Do I have that as one of my things? Are we getting to that one later? I do not have that one.
I
later.
wouldn't-
Pushed his reporter this week.
Yeah,
Shoved him in the locker room.
I would not.
I'm not saying rest him throughout the season. I'm just saying
No, I know.
in this timeline, you try to go a little longer.
You want to be cautious
Yes.
with him, except for you can only advise a Connor McDavid. Connor is going to do what he wants to do. And when he comes to you and goes, I'm ready to go, there's no choice to be made. You just put him out there, right? Like, and I know there's a lot of people that are like, well, who's in charge here? Well, Connor McDavid's in charge.
Yeah, no, it's Connor.
Like, don't kid yourself. This organization goes as Connor McDavid wants it to go, which is also why when they're not doing well, I think it's completely legitimate to blame Connor McDavid because this is his organization. So yeah, Connor's going to decide when he's ready to go. And maybe marriage gives him that sort of perspective and maturity to wait until he's 100%, but nothing about his history says that he's going to do that.
No, don't just wait till you're 100%, Connor. Wait till you're 100%, then give it one more game. That's my message to you, Connor. Just wait till you're 100%, then give it one more game. Just be a little extra careful.
This is also the conversation you can have when they've won 2 games since he went down.
Yes.
Right? Like,
Well, and also like just overall, the Edmonton Oilers 6-3-1 in their last 10.
Yeah.
This team is.
yeah.
They're back to being more of the team that we're expecting. Like they had that little bit of a rougher start, but look, they're right back up there after the win yesterday against the Flames. They sit in the top wild card spot. If you're looking at it in terms of the division, they're only 2 points back of second in the
LA.
division.
Yeah.
They're only 4 back of the Golden Knights at the top. Like that's 2 games right there. They're in all of this.
There's 2 games on the NHL schedule tonight, and they are both consequential to the Edmonton Oilers. Obviously, the Oilers play the Devils.
Yeah.
But the Kings are taking on the Predators. Like
the Preds are just having a terrible
I was
start
just
to
going
the
to say
season.
we could be in here tomorrow morning. I will be in here tomorrow morning, and we will either be talking about an Oilers squad that has pulled into a tie with the Kings. Like that's the potential. Like considering the panic level in this town to start the year to where they are, they have flipped the script, and that's with an injured Connor McDavid.
I didn't tell you that. Yeah, I'm here tomorrow and Thursday. I'm producing for Trev.
Wow.
So you get me over there.
Wow.
Which is even better because I get them be silent.
Trev, you're not here because you're still moving. Is that correct?
Yeah, I had some vacation days to.
Yeah, he had to kill
Take
some
off.
days, so he's using the next 4.
And how perfect is that? Oh, I can't wait.
I'm also very
break in
thankful
the new
for
place.
some reason that you picked Tuesday through Friday, because if you picked today through Thursday or today through Friday, we would have been screwed.
So you have to get up early this whole week?
Except Wednesday.
Are you going to be okay?
No.
Have you gotten your immunizations?
No.
Do it. Jeez Louise.
No, but I won't be here Wednesday.
You guys have clearly not been exposed to adults since this whole thing started, have you?
I'm the adult around here.
This is what I'm saying. Not if you're not getting immunized.
Do as I say, don't do as I do.
Exactly. That's exactly what's going on.
There's your morning after show. We will get to the orange and blue breakfast later on in the show, as it is a game day. Oilers Devils down at Rogers Place. Reminder: Amazon Prime game. You don't get this on Sportsnet. You don't get this if you have a Sportsnet package. You only get this if you have Amazon Prime.
And if you have not had a chance to watch a Prime game yet, enjoy it. I quite like their production. I thought they were going to fall on their face because what do they know? But they've clearly hired the right people to do it.
Well, yeah, I forgot who they hired for this. I will just say this. I'm not looking forward to tomorrow when we get a lot of complaints about people like, why wasn't the game on Sportsnet? Why can't I watch this game? And people it's on Prime only, people.
Yeah.
And we're not the ones making the decisions. Trev's very excited because he found his mic sock. He's like, it's like a kid found his Beyblades again. That's what it looks like over there.
It was buried under the Beyblades. That was the problem.
He brought too many of them today.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's Amazon Prime only tonight. So if you're going to want to watch the Oilers game tonight, you need an Amazon Prime membership. Get used to it. That's where sports is going.
Yeah, man. This is the great wide open frontier that is about to envelop sports fans.
Dean Belanger disagrees with you.
What's that?
I watched the Prime game last week. It was terrible in all caps.
Interesting. No, listen. I
haven't watched. I haven't watched a second of Amazon Prime. But I guess I'll find out.
Listen,
it's like.
I'm biased. I find what happens in this country to be really amateurish, especially when you watch what goes on TBS. Like, there is a certain level of give a crap that seems to exist that, for whatever reason in this country, we're kind of just content. Like, we sit around and go, as long as it's better than the CFL coverage, we're happy. And we don't kind of reach for the height. Like, if you watch English Premiership, for example, like
Premier League,
but like
Premier.
Thank you. You like that is a homegrown league that takes itself as serious as the Catholic Church, right? And there is a part of me that like wants to see the NHL kind of. They don't have to achieve it. I just want to see them attempt to reach for it.
Since I didn't give the conch to Liverpool, I'm going to give a conch to Ruben Amorim, new manager of Manchester United. Boom. November 11th takes over. Ruud van Nistelrooy being the interim manager right now. Yep. Conch for him. Why not? It's time to get to that's good for the Italian Center Shop. We're coming up closer. We're about 6 minutes away from Matt Dunigan of TSN joining us to talk some Canadian Football League. The Italian Center hand-stretched, house-made dough topped with their signature sauce and the best ingredients from their deli. They do all the hard work, so you just need to throw them in the oven, and you look like a hero in just 10 minutes. That's good. The Italian Center. West End, South, Sherwood Park, Calgary, all amazing. 95th Street, Little Italy. That's good. Little Italy. I'm going to the National Football League for that's good. I got to talk about this. I don't know if anyone's seen it. Saquon Barkley yesterday. He jumps a defender.
Yeah.
Backwards.
Sure.
It was amazing. He did a spinorama on this one play, and then he goes and he jumps a guy backwards, and he got over him with the Eagles. The more and more Saquon Barkley has been playing for the Philadelphia Eagles, the more and more like New York Giants fans must be furious at their organization for letting Saquon Barkley go and not even give him a call and trying to keep him. He's doing some amazing things with the Eagles. But that play, like you watch that play, grabs the ball on a pass, gets by one defender, does a spinorama, then hurdles a guy backwards. That's good.
That's good goes to every guy who's in a fantasy league who took a flyer on Derrick Henry, as he had another 2 touchdowns yesterday in the Ravens' absolute dismantling of the Denver Broncos.
I think I was on the lock shop in August with Jake Bull and it might have been Pat. And we were looking at just some NFL futures, and I think they set the line at like 10.5 touchdowns for Derrick Henry this year.
Yeah. Like we know what he's doing to the NFL. It is the Derrick Henry renaissance that is absolutely taking over. If if you don't think he is the runaway leader, I'm not saying it's going to end this way, but right now, runaway leader for NFL MVP, you're kidding yourself. Like, his numbers are absolutely phenomenal.
But so are Lamar's.
Right? No, like,
And so now,
you think that it'll split the vote? Is that what
Maybe.
you're kind of feeling like?
Yes.
Like that Baltimore Raven.
Because you can make the argument right now, and like a couple weeks ago was Lamar is going to be this guy that maybe is going to win his third MVP.
Yeah.
But how many people? Well, no, Derrick Henry's doing better with that. They're doing great with that team.
Yeah.
And does that third person come up and grab it?
It's tough to look away from the touchdowns though. Like, the guy is just putting together a monster season, and it's like I said, if you're that one person who took a flyer on him in your fantasy league, you are dominating right now, and it is absolutely destroying other people out there.
Well, I know Dusty likes to inform people of the league him and I are in together, which is the Spite League, the Nefarious Nine.
Okay.
Was it the Nefarious Nine? Yeah, it's the Nefarious Nine. They screwed him this year in the draft. He's very upset. He's pissed off.
Okay.
He's got Derrick Henry.
Who Dustin does?
Yeah. 134 points this week for his team. Dusty's team is a beast. I am going to have the second most highest points in the league this week in 117. There's 16 of us. Dusty's got Derrick Henry. So if he was here right now, he'd be talking and praising all of that.
And he should be. Like, it's wild what's going on.
Good, bad, and the ugly for the weekend. Got to get to this quickly before we get to Matt Dunigan. My good for this weekend, it is Lieutenant Eric on the broadcast.
Okay.
It's just great seeing Lieutenant Eric on the broadcast at Mosaic Stadium for a game. I don't know his last time he was at a game, because I don't know if he went to a game last year.
His rider's coat was on point.
It's a great coat.
Like, actually,
Great
the
coat.
entire ensemble just was perfect. The guy looked in a mirror before he went out. That always helps.
Just having a good time. Oh, I think Trev's going to get the picture up right away here.
Yeah, there he is. Look at that beauty.
It's just like, how are you not happy when you see Lieutenant Eric at a football
Look
game, at a Riders game?
Absolute beauty.
Like, you see that, and you just get like, that makes me, that's the good from the weekend.
Yeah. Yeah,
I don't think, and conch for Lieutenant Eric for that, you know? Yeah, as Trev just said, proud of him.
Yeah.
I'm very happy for him.
Yeah. My bad is Lieutenant Eric on Sunday. Because as bright and cheery as he looked there on a Saturday, I know what happened to him Saturday night, and his Sunday not as chipper.
There's a guy that's maturing. The game was on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
He's took Monday off.
Yeah, he knew.
He planned ahead. Monday's going off, and that's 2 days though.
Well, it's because he
Right?
knew that legally he could not drive back to Edmonton on Sunday for the entire day.
So this is good for the weekend. My bad on top of Lieutenant Eric on Sunday. Drake beefing with DeMar DeRozan. I don't know if you saw any of that.
What is going on there?
I don't know. I don't know why you're beefing with DeMar DeRozan. Said that if the Raptors ever put up a banner for DeMar DeRozan, he'll personally go up there and take it down. I have no idea what Drake is doing.
what's going
as
on?
the brand ambassador of the Raptors and beefing with one of their great players that they've always had.
Not
I
only
don't
that-
know why he's beefing with DeMar.
But the fact that they do it and they're taking it took away
From Vince Carter's
from
night?
Vince Carter's night. Like, this is a squad that is going to be terrible this year that had one sort of good moment where they were finally welcoming Vince Carter back into the franchise. And then to have these two schlubs going back and like, what? Why are you wasting everyone's time and attention on this? Like, I'm not saying you.
No,
but
piss off,
between Drake and DeMar. Like, what's going on? Like, solve your problems.
And my ugly, the people that were messing with Jason Kelsey. Like, why? I don't know why you're going after. And like, for those that didn't know, derogatory term used in reference towards Travis Kelsey, towards Jason Kelsey, and Kelsey went and grabbed the guy's phone and smashed it, and then like pushed it down and like went after him. And I think everyone's like, damn right, Jason Kelsey, the guy deserved it. Like the other guy, what Jason Kelsey did to him, but like, piss off to the other people. That's my ugly.
And my ugly, you alluded to it, but the Joel Embiid situation in Philadelphia is going from not great to this is going to become a problem for the league. Like, it was already a problem for the Philadelphia 76ers, and we know that the league has been sniffing around going, we're not in love with what you are doing here. Joel Embiid basically shoving a reporter, just throwing kerosene on a fire. Like, really dumb what's going on in Philadelphia.
It's time now. On the phone, joining us, we do have Matt Dunigan of the CFL on TSN. Matt, thanks for taking some time joining myself, Matt Iwanek, and Will Fraser with you here on Edmonton Sports Talk to look past this past weekend. Let's start out east, Matt. And this Toronto Argonauts team, they host the Ottawa Redblacks. A dominating victory. This Argos team for the last couple of months, they've really turned it on at the right time, haven't they?
Yeah, they really have. I think it starts with that defense. I think it starts with Chad Kelly playing the way he has been the last, I'd say, 5-6 weeks of the regular season. He's making that defense is swarming. They are aggressive, ball hawking. They understand situations down and distances, and they're playing extremely well, and Chad Kelly is playing as good as any quarterback in the league right now. And I absolutely love what I see, and I love how he just put the rest of the demons from last year's East Final and just went out there and balled with people in his face, getting knocked down, getting back up, and just dominated. It's kind of scary, right? But it sets up a great matchup going to Montreal. So it's going to be a smash fest in both games this coming weekend.
When you look at that Saskatchewan BC game, it was kind of a tale of two quarterbacks. One in Trevor Harris doing the do no harm role, and then Vernon Adams with 3 picks doing all the harm.
Yeah, I see that being the case. Obviously, Trevor almost 79% completion percentage.
Yep.
72 during the regular season. Over the course of his career in the playoffs, he's 75% completion percentage, and he cranked that up. And he's high percentage throws. They did enough at the line of scrimmage with Armstead and Ouellette that they just controlled the football and did what they had to do. And Trevor was driving that car perfectly. And to me, that's what you have to do in the playoffs. You can't do too much. VA, on the other hand, he didn't have a choice. He was running around. He was trying to make plays, and he had to, because Saskatchewan's defense, to me, is much like Toronto's defense, creating turnovers and havoc. Number 1 in the league, taking the football away, and they were doing some of that. So it's you play the game accordingly, and VA really didn't have a choice but to try to run around and make plays because Saskatchewan was all over them.
When you look at the Riders and the Argos going to next weekend, which team do you think is in a better spot to maybe go upset the two teams that are hosting those games in the Owls and the Bombers?
That's $1 million question, right? Let's get out our let me see. It's a tough one. I think each of these teams equally have an opportunity to go in and upset. And I think it would be an upset because Winnipeg and Montreal have been the best teams in the league so far. And to go in there and not handle their business would be a surprise to me. I really believe that it's going to come down to what it typically does in these ball games, and that's turnovers and controlling the clock and being disciplined. I think that's a huge part of it too, because those penalties are magnified during the playoffs, and it comes down to just like watching the World Series last week. You watch how the Yankees imploded Game 5, and look what LA did. They took full advantage. You can't do that in the CFL too in these playoff games, because win or go home. And I haven't answered your question. I know that, Matt. I'm sorry.
But you make a great point that there's just like, I think that you can make the argument that both have a good chance at it, but also at the same time that, both of those teams that are going to be hosting this upcoming weekend, they're just good football teams, and it's going to be hard to beat either of those two teams. So,
and they believe, right? Montreal's defending. They've been the class of the league for the last couple of years, or at least for the last year and a half. And you look at Winnipeg and what they've done, the consistency and the belief they have there, and the depth and the number of players that they've gotten quality play time and with injury this year. And that's that bodes well for all 4 teams because you have to survive those patches where you got starters going down, you get guys getting valuable playing time, and it pays off in games like this. So each one of these teams are at where they're supposed to be, and I believe that just settle in. Make sure you get your beer stocked and your fridge stocked and plenty of snacks because it's going to be a heck of a football weekend.
And then one more final for you, Matt. Just here in Edmonton, big news last week was Chris Morris announced as new president of this team. I know you're a Double E alum. I'm not sure if you had a chance to hear.
Wearing my hat right now. Wearing my hat right now.
Perfect. I'm guessing then you heard what Chris Morris had to say at his opening press conference.
I did not.
Okay, well, he wanted to just talking about the core values of this team and changing the revolving door that there's been here in Edmonton. He really wants to focus on getting back to the roots of the Double E. Just from the outside, I know you didn't play with Chris Morris, but this guy has turned around the University of Alberta Golden Bearers. But what do you make of the idea of just that revolving door of Edmonton needing to completely change?
Well, I think the door's going to continue to be wide open and revolve because I think they're a clean house, and it's going to be interesting where that settles, and they may get some familiar faces into the fold. I don't know. Speculation. Easier said than done in today's game. I like the idea. I like what Chris is saying. It's just, whether or not that can happen and how quickly it can happen. But I believe that outstanding choice. And I think the changes and that merry-go-round hasn't stopped yet. So I think there's going to be some new faces there before the start of next season. And they'll try to establish what Chris is speaking of, and rightfully so, because in the euphoric world, that's what you want. You want consistency. You don't want player turnover. You want to create that mindset that was there for decades that has been lost, and it's been lost for a while now. And I think it's good things to say. It's more difficult to accomplish. But I love the mindset and the focus, and I just hope and pray they can get it done.
Matt, really appreciate you taking some time for us here today. Enjoy your week and enjoy the upcoming, both the East and the West finals and the Grey Cup in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, back at y'all. I appreciate it, Matt. Y'all have a good one, and make sure you stop those refrigerators. It's going to be a heck of a weekend.
Can't wait. There's Matt Dunigan of the CFL on at TSN joining us to help look back at the CFL East and West semis, and little comments there of the Chris Morris saying he's wearing his Edmonton hat. I'm guessing he has an Eskimos hat.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Well, Double E. That's probably all that it is, and all that it needs to be.
Well, but he might. Yeah, I guess it would have just always been a Double E.
Does Toronto need a running game?
They have one.
Yeah, but do they even
Yes.
We have not gone deep enough into this. Chad Kelly went 18 of 20 for 358 yards and 4 touchdowns.
When Chad Kelly's great, which is often, he's great.
Yeah.
But as we saw in the East final last year,
yeah,
when he's not great,
when it gets shut down, right.
it's tough.
Yeah.
And that's where you need a Kadeem Carey. I will say that. So
but your quarterback is operating at 90% through the air.
Yeah, no, it's pretty nice. It's pretty nice.
Sick. That is no picks and 4 touchdowns, 90%.
The other thing to Chad Kelly too is his legs. He's a guy that can move a little bit. 29 yards and a touchdown in there. But Kadeem Carey on 9 carries for 43 yards still. That's pretty good. And Kadeem Carey was he was more of the Kadeem Carey from the past that he was with the Stamps this year with the Argos. I think there was a lot of people concerned health wise whether he could be healthy for the Argos this year. Yep. He was. They do need one just because if Chad has that bad game, they need something to counter the passing attack.
Absolutely.
But when Chad is playing well, he, to me, is right now probably the best quarterback in the league.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it's close at
There's
this
a
point.
reason he was an MLP last year.
Yeah.
Like he would be outright the best QB in the league. And I understand why people don't like him.
Yeah.
I understand why people can't stand the guy.
Yeah, no.
Fully understand that.
You have every reason to wish to not to see him play football. But oh my goodness, is he efficient?
Absolutely. But in the end, he is a great quarterback on the football field.
Mm-hmm.
And he showed it this past weekend, but he's got to go exercise some demons this upcoming weekend because last year everyone thought the Argos easy road to the Grey Cup. They were hosting the East Final, and it wasn't close.
Mm-hmm.
Can he go get that done in Montreal? Which I don't like Montreal. I don't like how Montreal has been playing for the last while, since mid-August. I don't think they're as good as their record states. I think they got off to a really good start this season.
Inconsistent, yeah.
And they've built up a nice lead that it looks like overall nice record. But really, when you go through their stretch of schedules, I'm actually going to quickly pull it up here. I could critique most of it. So they go and they beat the Saskatchewan Roughriders on August 16th because Brett Lawler missed 7 field goals, and one of those was returned for a touchdown. They go beat the Elks the next weekend where Boris Beatty missed a kick. McLeod Bethel Thompson twice couldn't get it done within the green zone. They get destroyed by the BC Lions. They were home, get destroyed by the BC Lions. They tie the Calgary Stampeders.
Mm-hmm.
They then beat the Red Blacks. Okay. They lose to the Argos. They beat the Red Blacks again. They get destroyed by BC again. They lose to Winnipeg. So they've really, since September, they've beaten
since
Ottawa.
Labor Day. Yep.
And that is it. The CFL playoffs is very much, you've seen it for a long time. We've all seen it for a long time. Very much who's hot at the right time.
Yeah.
And the Montreal Alouettes are not hot. The Toronto Argonauts are
And also,
hot.
what does the weather do? Right? That can also be the equalization that happens in CFL playoffs is you may have a great passing attack, but if it's minus 20 degrees, that's a tough football to catch.
Montreal on Saturday has a high of 5, an overnight low of -2.
Oh, well, then
Winnipeg.
Chad Kelly's going to have a game.
Winnipeg's nicer. Winnipeg right now is scheduled to 8 degrees.
Yeah.
And sunny with a low of -2.
So perfect football weather.
That's great for Trevor Harris.
Yeah.
If I'm the Riders, I'm liking to see that. I want to see that more than, although a run game like Brady Oliveira versus AJ Ouellette / Rock Armstead, that'd be a nice little duo that I think that would be coming there. I love CFL playoffs. Do you like it on the Saturday?
No.
Okay.
No.
Thank you. At least I'm not alone on that one.
I understand why they do it. It's the right decision. You are not in competition with the NFL because you can't. You can't be in competition with the NFL. So you need to get as many football fans as you can. And Saturday is the best place for them to do it. But when it comes to CFL playoffs, you expect it on Sunday. I'm not critiquing that they've had to move. I understand. It makes sense. But
well, I had the conflict on Saturday because my Hurricanes were playing, and the U are back, baby. 9-0.
Enough.
The U is
Just
back.
enough.
I had to find a way to bring the U into today's
I know,
show.
but as I told you off the air this morning, I was like, don't jump too quickly on that bandwagon. They have a distinct way of just ruining all the good feels.
Do not tell me it's a bandwagon. I've been on with the Hurricanes since the early 2000s. It's been a tough time.
Yes.
It's been a tough, 15 years.
Yeah.
I think 2004 Peach Bowl, they got destroyed by Florida. It hasn't been the same since.
Yeah.
They had one good season with Mark Richt as their coach, and they lost in the ACC championship game and got destroyed by Clemson.
Yeah.
Ain't no bandwagon jumper with the Hurricanes.
All
the
right.
U, baby. The U. 9-0.
Listen.
9-0.
That's alumni for you. They're always showing up for their team.
They took my money
They certainly would.
for that hat that one day.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a weird pick. Credit to you for sticking with it, but that's what you do. You, through thick and thin, you find a front runner and you stick with it.
Yeah, when I was 8.
Yeah.
When I was 8. And I have stuck with it the entire time. But, college football is great. The Ravens, they're great. It was a better weekend this weekend for me than it was last weekend. Last weekend I had a really rough time.
Well, yeah, they had no business losing to the Browns last weekend. So
Oh, last weekend I had that. I had United lose. I had the Yankees.
Yeah.
They
Well,
weren't going well.
They never.
It's a rough time.
You don't need to worry about the Yankees. They were never in the World Series.
Oh,
Hey-o.
I do need to worry about the Yankees because they haven't won since 09.
Yeah. Wow. And with that,
And I
Dodgers,
don't know when they're going to win
with
again.
that Dodgers squad, you can kind of not worry about the next 4 years. I would
Well,
think.
where's Soto going to go, right? Well, and that's actually to the point of the Dodgers. They gain a pitcher next year. Mm-hmm. I didn't even think about that part.
A pitcher who throws 98 miles per hour fastball and a 68 mile per hour curveball.
And they don't have to spend an extra $1 for it. Mm-hmm. He's just on their roster.
That's right. Yeah, like
And Aaron Boone's not going to get fired.
that's the
He
craziest
should get
thing.
fired. Like, he should have been fired. Like, I could argue he should have been fired 4 years ago.
Yeah.
But he should have been fired last year when they didn't make the playoffs. But now they get to the World Series. There's no chance they're firing him. Not a chance.
I would have fired him after Game 3 when they were still pitching to Freddie Freeman.
All Yankee fans have seen this for a number of years, that this guy needs to go. Brian Cashman's the only one they can't see. And now we're going to be stuck with him next year.
Well, serves you right.
For what? Service him right for what?
Being a Yankees fan. There's no more evil empire out there than the New York Yankees.
We haven't won since 09. Are we really an evil empire? The Dodgers are more of the evil empire right now, which is embarrassing. Should be the Yankees.
I have a hard time feeling upset about and I get it. They just threw money at it, but there's something about a team that throws money the right way. Like you kind of
the right way.
Well, you could, I don't know, throw hundreds of millions of dollars at an Aaron Judge because you like the feels he's given you, or you could do it for the best player of his generation in a Shohei Ohtani.
Shohei Ohtani didn't want to go to New York.
Why
Something
would
you
he?
do about that?
Yeah.
He wanted to stay on the West Coast because
I
it's close
agree.
to Japan.
That's
You can't pick up.
because it's so
Well, it's
close
closer.
to Japan.
You can't pick up the city of New York and move it to the West Coast to get Shohei Ohtani. Yankees only have so much money.
Well, they did it with the Dodgers.
This is the Nielson Show. Matt Awanek, Will Fraser, YouTube Trev with you here. The Nielson Show presented by South Fort Chevrolet. That will wrap up the first hour of the show.
On text here, we have Bone saying, how about a conch for Quincy Jones? Yeah, R.I.P. to Quincy Jones. If
I
you
missed that.
If you don't know who Quincy Jones is, he was probably one of the greatest entertainment executives that we've seen in the last 50 years.
28 Grammy wins out of 80 nominations.
Yeah.
Passing away yesterday at the age of 91.
He produced so many albums, so much television, so many movies. Thriller album, that was a Quincy Jones production. And he was a hell of a musician way back when he first started out as well. So, yeah, Quincy Jones passing away at the age of 91. His daughter, Rashida Jones.
Oh, no way.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
there you go.
Let's get to a Sports Center update with YouTube Trev. In the second hour of the show, we will talk with Mike Tanier, but up in a few minutes. TSN Hockey Insider Darren Dreger for Pro Am Sports. Here's Trev with your sports update.
No McDavid, no problem, as the Oilers win 2 straight without their captain, beating the Flames 4-2. The Oilers will be back home tonight to take on the New Jersey Devils. Oilers and Devils, one of 2 games around the NHL. Tom Gazzola has your GCL Diesel pre- and post-game show starting at 5:30 right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Last night in the NHL, Rangers defeat the Islanders 5-2. The Winnipeg Jets remain red hot with a 7-4 win over the Lightning. Bruins blank the Kraken 2-0. Hurricanes double up on the Capitals 4-2. Wild top the Leafs 2-1, and the Blackhawks take a 4-2 game over the Ducks. In the NFL last night, the Ravens dumped the Broncos 41-20. The Bills all over the Dolphins 30-27, or over the Dolphins 30-27. Dustin's Lions improved to 7-1 with a 24-14 win over the Packers. Just one game in the NFL tonight to cap off Week 9. The Buccaneers head over to Kansas to take on the Chiefs. Kickoff for this one at 6:15. In the association last night, just 3 games as the Pistons defeat the Nets 106-92. The Hawks all over the Pelicans 126-111, and the Mavericks win 108-85 over the Magic. Tonight, 15 games in the NBA, including the Raptors at home taking on the Denver Nuggets. Game starts at 6 o'clock. The Sports Update brought to you by Greenplan, providing you with award-winning environmental and consulting services. Whether it's municipal, industrial, or residential, plan it right with Greenplan. Visit greenplan.com or give them a call at 780-455-4292.
What say you? Hey, nasty crew. We got the Nielson show flu, and there's nothing we can do about it. What say you? Hey, nasty crew. My wife thinks I got better things to do, but there's nothing I can do about it. We're tuning in, we're listening online. We catch up with the podcast when we fall behind. We're texting in the nasty chat, what's on our mind. 780-218-9999. No more interference from corporate interest. Just Tati and Eric and all of the bad cats like Rishaug and Noodles. Captain can gauge it. If it's a fun but a cool band to make a little wager. We can't wait for the Monday mandate. Shaggy's always on time. Tommy's always late.
Would you like a cup of tea?
Forget about the old place. Hey, we were number one in the text race. We don't miss all the commercial breaks, but we sure miss Nickelback today. We wanna hear some hot takes and we wanna hear Renee. Wanna hold the neck up when I wanna kiss away. Beat up the tire fire and remember that name. We love every goal song, but what about the games? Macramel, Rapaport, Dreger and Tanier. It ain't Christmas season, but they sound like reindeer. Button and my cousin and the tales of the North. All about a given person, Dusty go forth. What say you? AM Nasty crew. We got the Nielson show flu, and there's nothing we can do about it. And there's nothing we can do about it. And there's nothing we can do about it.
This is the Nielson Show. Manawanuk, Will Fraser, YouTube Trev with you here on Edmonton Sports Talk, live on TuneIn, iHeartRadio, YouTube. Also not live, though, but you can get podcasts wherever you get your podcast. Nielson Show presented by South Fort Chev. We're live in the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen studio. Popeyes now is boneless wings, a continuation of their bone-in wings platform, which will allow customers the choice between ghost pepper bone-in wings and the all-white meat boneless wings with a milder flavor. With the success of the current wings platform, they continue to lean on their existing sauces offerings, including signature hot honey and garlic, honey barbecue, garlic parmesan, as well as the classic.
That's good.
I am not doing Movember.
No, yeah, we were just talking about it.
Trev likes to do Movember.
First of all, Trevor should.
Thank you.
His mustache is gorgeous, but your
Not a chance.
Your mustache would be epic as
We
well.
did it
500
1 year.
likes.
They wouldn't even do it for that.
Please.
We did it 1 year at 1260 years ago, and nothing really grew, and I'm not doing it.
I don't believe that.
It's not happening.
I can already see your mustache.
It'll stop growing at some point. It'll look nasty. It's not happening. If there's one thing that will not happen, I don't care how many likes we get. It's not happening. Not doing Movember.
It's really too bad.
More importantly, like if you are of age, do everything that Movember is encouraging you as a male and prostate health is concerned with. Like, I
Get checked.
I got the colonoscopy a couple of years ago. It was the greatest nap of my life. Like,
Aren't you supposed to get
honestly.
it like every year now? So isn't there
No,
a point where it's every
so-
2 years?
So in Canada, starting at 50, they recommend it every 5 years.
That's it?
And
Gotta be sooner.
and just because of the family history, I was able to get mine at 45. So, but same sort of thing. For me, it's every 5 years.
Still to come this hour, EST Flyaway keyword. We'll talk some football with Mike Tanier. We got to get to the fan zone, Center Casino, Monday Night Challenge. We got the Cool Bet Hotline of the day where we'll build an EST parlay for tonight. But joining us now, TSN Hockey Insider, Darren Dreger for Pro-Am Sports, brought to you by Pro-Am Sports, who are locally owned, operated sports and memorabilia and apparel specialist. Let Pro-Am help you with your team fundraiser with no-risk auction raffle items. Visit them in-store for all the details. Located right here in Edmonton at the corner of St. Albert Trail, 128th Ave. Online as well at proamsports.ca. There he is, Darren Dreger, live with us here. Darren, are you a guy that has ever done Movember? Have you ever grown out the stash? I can't remember.
Yeah, I have. I went through it for, I think, 3 consecutive years. And facial hair is not my strength in any way, shape, or form. So I could never, I'm 56 years old. It would take me another 56 years to grow a full beard. I can do, what do we call it? The goatee.
Yeah.
I can get away with that. Not a bad mustache, but it takes the full month of November to get that thing even to basic average acceptability. So now I do donate because it's such a wonderful cause, as you guys were alluding to and talking about. So I do my best to support, but I don't think I was the poster man for November. It was pretty sad.
Let's get into start with the Edmonton Oilers when it comes to hockey. McDavid, he goes down for, they said 2 to 3 weeks last week. But the Oilers, they rattle off 2 victories. Leon Draisaitl has really turned it on this season. What have you made of the Oilers' play since McDavid's gone down?
Well, look, I mean, you never hope for injury, obviously, especially with a global talent like Connor McDavid. But should we be surprised that the likes of Leon Draisaitl and others now have stepped up in his absence? I mean, with Connor there, I still think that Leon would have found this gear. It's just kind of the ebbs and flows of a regular season, and it's unfortunate that it comes on the heels of losing Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final, which no one in the organization wants to talk about anymore. They don't want to look back; they're looking forward. But it's an 82-game grind. That's what it is. And when you're as talented as Draisaitl and others are, it just seems that it's inevitable that he's going to find his stride. And look, he's a proud leader. He's a very proud leader. So McDavid gets sidelined with the ankle injury. Well, somebody has to step up, and it makes sense for it to be Leon Draisaitl, and Zach Hyman has come online, and go down the list of some of the guys that you need to be able to lean on. Look, even early on, and we're not talking about that far, 2, 3, 4 games ago, whatever it was, Edmonton was ticking off the boxes in the offensive categories with the exception of one. They couldn't put the puck in the net, but they were doing everything else. So when you see that level of analytics, I think, again, it just becomes a question of, all right, it's going to happen, but when is it going to happen? And, Leon has stepped up in the absence of their captain.
Oiler fans probably spent the first 25 days of the new season looking at the St. Louis Blues and 2 Oilers that got away from the organization. What is Vancouver Canuck fan doing with Vasily Podkolzin these days? Because he's been a revelation, especially over the last couple of games for the Oilers.
Man, has he been good. Ray Ferraro and I talked about Podkolzin the other day on our podcast, and obviously it was coming off the fight with Lausanne, and I didn't know that this young man was capable of that, and nor did Ray, but it wasn't his first National Hockey League fight either. And you clearly aren't going to expect that on a game in and game out basis, but it does provide another useful element to a guy that maybe we are just starting to learn more about. And maybe at this point of his young NHL career, he's starting to figure it out. These guys don't come with owner's manuals, right? And yeah, you'd like to think that by this stage of his career, he's figured it out, and what the ceiling is or what the level of expectation needs to be, but maybe that's not the case. So yeah, I'm sure Canucks fans are looking at this and going, oh boy, didn't see that. Maybe it's more about the fit players he's playing with. Maybe it's more about opportunity because of the changes that have been automatic for the Edmonton Oilers coming into the season. Whatever, it seems to be working for Podkolzin. But I'll share this with you guys. So when the regular season started, just talking to people that I trust there, I'm looking on the wing and I'm like, all right, well, is Jeff Skinner going to be able to hold down that spot at second line wing, or who else is it going to be? And someone that I trust there said, don't be surprised if Podkolzin is capable of swapping out and playing an elevated role. So look, from a fan perspective, maybe we didn't see it, but organizationally, I can tell you the coaching staff, they had a higher level of expectation in Podkolzin than I think most people would have.
We're with TSN Hockey Insider Darren Dreger, Pro-Am Sports Hockey Insider, right here on the Nielson Show. Speaking of the Vancouver Canucks, is there any timetable? What's going on with Thatcher Demko and a potential return there?
Yeah, you know what? It's a good question. And I don't think that they actually have a firm answer on that, right? So, again, I'm going to go back probably Well, probably 3 weeks ago, again, dealing with sources in Vancouver. And the sense was that Dakota Joshua and Thatcher Demko were likely going to come back into the mix around the same time, 3-4 weeks. Well, we're at that point now, and Dakota Joshua is there, and Thatcher Demko is still a pretty big question mark. They're fortunate bringing in Lankinen. That's why you look around the National Hockey League. You look at Igor Shesterkin, you look at Vasilevsky, you look at Connor Hellebuck, and you look at these teams that don't have to invest in a third goaltender, but you need to have access to a decent third goaltender. And the Vancouver Canucks are proving that with bringing Lankinen in. So now you've got Shelovs and Lankinen, and that's afforded the Canucks the opportunity to extend for whatever reason is needed to give Thatcher Demko the time that he needs to get healthy. But make no mistake, the Vancouver Canucks with Thatcher Demko, I mean, this guy's a game changer. So they're going to need him into the mix sooner rather than later. But I guess given the fact that their goaltending has been average or slightly above average to this point, that does afford them the luxury of time to wait and be patient.
Darren, there's been a ton of stories through the first month of the regular season, the disappointment and also the overachievements. Are we all missing the boat on the New York Rangers because they look like a juggernaut?
A little bit. I don't think we're missing the boat. I think this is an East-West thing, but you're right. I mean, this is a really, really good team. They've got some pieces there that, again, I'll use the term game changer because that's legit what they are. Artemi Panarin has been terrific to this point of the regular season. And when that guy is healthy and he's clicking on all cylinders, look out. They've got some good young guys. Alexis Lafreniere, who was just awarded with a contract extension. You do have, the distraction, if it doesn't appear to be, of the contract negotiation with Igor Shesterkin, but ice runs through that man's veins. He's sitting there going, yeah, I'm an unrestricted free agent at the end of the year. This is my number. We can either get to that number now, or I'm going to get to that number at some point. The question is it going to be with the New York Rangers, or is it going to be somewhere else? It doesn't seem to be a distraction at all. So they've got a lot of boxes ticked there. I think Chris Drury is doing some fairly tidy work. And Peter Laviolette, the head coach of the New York Rangers, I'm one that doesn't think coaches get enough credit when teams have success. And, normally it comes at the expense of someone else. And yes, that's been the scenario in New York. But to get to a place of being a top contender in the National Hockey League, you've got to have experience coaching, I believe. I'm not saying you have to be an NHL head coach for 15 years to be able to handle a veteran group like the New York Rangers, but in this case, it helps. And Peter Laviolette has been terrific in making sure that he pushes all the right buttons there.
One of the teams that maybe isn't doing as much as people thought they were going to do at the start of this year is the Nashville Predators. Had a great free agency. People thought they were going to be right near the top of the Western Conference by the end of this season. Right now, they're the fifth worst team based on points in the National Hockey League. Is there any cause for panic out in Nashville right now, or has gone wrong through at least the first 11 games for the Preds?
Well, it looks like it's too much too soon. That's the way it looks from the outside looking in. What I mean by that is, they have some good young developing pieces, which they still have internally. But those guys are developing at a certain phase. So now all of a sudden, if you're a younger player, you're looking at the opportunity last season. You go into the off season, you know what you have to do to train and get yourself ready for the upcoming season. And here comes your general manager with the Louisville Slugger and is hitting grand slam after grand slam in free agency, right? So, he brings in Stamkos and he brings in Jonathan Marchessault and all the other pieces that they collected in Nashville. And on paper, it looks tremendous, right? I think Barry Trotz used the term serial winners in describing Stamkos and Marchessault. And I get it, but now it upsets the development plan of some of these younger guys. And it makes it more difficult for Andrew Brunette, the head coach. Yeah, it could have been perfect. Stamkos could have stepped onto the ice in Nashville and just collect with Marchessault and away they go. But that's not the way it's worked out. So I think that Brunette has really been challenged early on here to try and bring all these pieces together. I still think that it's early enough, and these guys are so enormously talented that they are going to find a way. But we've seen it before, right? Where you bring in these future Hall of Famers, and for some inexplicable reason, it just doesn't work. Well, the problem is, if it's not going to work in Nashville, what do? You know, you're not moving out those pieces. Those guys are there. So Trotz is, I don't think it's panic, but I would say that there's a high level of concern. I mean, he's trying to not move out, but he's trying to do something. You know, he's got Dante Fabro there, sometimes in the lineup, sometimes out of the lineup as a right shot D. He does have some other assets, but in season, I don't think that Barry Trotz is going to be able to do anything that's really going to change the fortunes of where the Preds are. That's going to be up to what they've got internally and the players to execute.
What are you hearing on the coaching front and the safety of people's jobs around the NHL? Because I'll be honest with you, I thought with what the Edmonton Oilers did last year, we were going to see a bloodbath this year from any team that thought they had a chance to turn it around.
Yeah, I hear you. You know, I guess we're looking at obvious spots. One would be in Boston. And I don't know if you guys saw the soundbite last night from Jim Montgomery after the game, where he talked about why David Pastrnak didn't play much in the third period, and he said, coach's decision. All right. I mean, you know, I'm good with that. We saw Knobloch sit Leon Draisaitl early in the season for a couple of shifts, and it made a difference, right? There was some spark, and it breathed a little bit of life into. Now, do we think that was the TSN turning point for the Oilers? No, but it's something. Like, there's an accountability factor there. So kudos to Jim Montgomery. If he didn't think that David Pastrnak was going the way he needs him to go last night, but when you're in the final year of your contract, that's a dangerous card to play. You know, I mean, you're winning games with David Pastrnak. Is he the best defensive player out there? Not by a long shot, but he can win games single-handedly. So, right or wrong, it's going to go one of two ways, right? Final year of his contract, either the Bruins are going to take off and play better than they have of late, and they've won a couple, so it's not the end of the world, or it's not going to go there. What we know in Boston is that there's a high level of expectation. That starts with, you know, the boss, the Jacobs family, the owners of the Boston Bruins, and then moves down. And I guess the other team I'd be keeping an eye on here would probably be Detroit. And I don't have a real strong sense that either coach legitimately is in trouble. It's just, how many years of a rebuild are you going to go through in Detroit before enough is enough? And, you know, I would think that those questions are probably being asked in Detroit and Boston.
Darren, it's been great talking with you once again. What's the latest with the Rain Dregs podcast? What do you guys have, or what do you have coming up?
Yeah, so we're hoping to drop another one tomorrow. Sadly, Ray won't be there. Ray is taking an early season golf vacation, believe it or not. Like, how gutsy is that, right? Like, he's just wiping out the week because that's his ESPN schedule. And I think he's in Arizona playing golf. But we're going to have a guest co-host on Tuesday, so we'll figure something out.
The PGA Tour isn't even playing golf at this point.
It's good when you can get away with it, fellas.
Keep that one in your back pocket for later in this year when you need one.
No kidding.
Ray, you've got this week. I'm going to have to do my own golf.
Exactly. I'm looking forward to it.
Darren, have a great week. And Dusty and the boys will catch up with you next week.
Yeah. All right, fellas. Thank you.
There's TSN Hockey Insider. Darren Dreger. Catch the Ray and Dregs podcast wherever you can get your podcast. Darren Dreger, thanks to Pro-Am Sports. He is the EST Hockey Insider. I got to get to a couple things before we get to the EST Flyaway. We'll do, while Trev's calling someone, we'll do the Cool Bet Hotline of the day as well as build an EST parlay. But Trev, can you put up the Nisku Glass sports update? Because I forgot to actually throw to a sports update at 6:30. Just completely blew past it. So I'm going to do my own sports update brought to you by Nisku Glass from this past weekend. College football update. Number 1 Oregon holds on to its number 1 ranking. They defeated Michigan 38-17. While the big game of the weekend had number 4 Ohio State head to Penn State and take down the Nittany Lions 2013. Chip Kelly's got that Ohio State defense going strong. My Miami Hurricanes, they defeat Duke 53-31. Beyond that, nothing too crazy like in terms of college football this week in terms of ranked teams. Although SMU did beat Pittsburgh, 20 beating 18, 48-25. That's really big for my U in terms of...
Stop. Just stop.
Premier League action. Tottenham yesterday defeated Aston Villa 4-1, while United and Chelsea, they continue their time tradition with each other. Another draw, 1-1.
Gross.
Tonight in Premier League action, you got Fulham, Brentford. That's at 1 o'clock. There's your Monday Night Football action.
Okay.
So there's your NISU class sports update. The Mattawanic version of a sports update.
Yeah.
Stuff you won't hear generally in a sports update here on EST. Brought to you by Nisku Glass. If you're looking for replacement glass for your construction equipment or fleet vehicles, or at home or business owner looking to upgrade your space with high efficiency windows and modern glass designs, Nisku Glass is here to help from your home or business to your vehicle. They won't just meet your glass needs, they'll shatter them. Check them out on Instagram or give them a call, 780-955-7989, and see what Nisku Glass can do for you. A text in the Paris Jewelers inbox, 780-218-9999, came in a little bit earlier. Paris Jewelers, family-owned, operated with 22 stores in 4 provinces across Canada. Large and high-quality selection of engagement rings, including lab-created at great prices. ParisJewelers.com. Will, this person text in, they drafted, or auto-drafted, Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson, and Zay Flowers. The text from Mike, phrase, brother, I auto-drafted King Henry, Lamar, and Zay Flowers.
You know what you need to learn from that, right? Never draft again. Like, just always auto-draft. Like, if that's not telling you that AI is just better than you are, nothing will. Like, what a great auto-draft.
Oh, I should do that next year. I'm going to use AI to draft.
Oh, I know a lot of guys who did that.
Players
no,
left.
I know a lot of guys who did that for both hockey and the NFL. Is that they did not do a second of prep. They just punched in like available players and let AI spit it out for them. And most of them are doing quite well with their teams. So yeah, don't overthink it. Just let the computer do it.
Let's get to our EST Flyway to LA presented by the 780 Keyword. We want to send you to Los Angeles, December 26th through to the 30th. Are
you actually going to have a word this time? All last week that I was here, you had abbreviated names, which aren't words.
Not true at all. Once again. Last week you were
not a word.
Volleyball, Kings, Perry, Nuge.
Perry, Nuge. Like, Nuge is not a word.
It is a word.
No.
It's a noun.
It's
a
barely
person's
a name.
It's a name. Perry, that's a word. You're not going to like today.
I know. I can see
it's
it
already
already.
up there. Fabry. Yeah. Trev getting the YouTube people early. Fabry, 780-218-9999. There's your keyword. Oh, that's fine, Trev. There you go, Fabry. Robbie Fabry of the Anaheim Ducks.
Great.
Chance to potentially see him, as we're going to send you to see Edmonton hockey take on Anaheim.
I was just about
LA.
to ask, what's the tie-in?
So
that makes sense.
It's Cards, Rams. They'll play a Saturday or Sunday. The NFL hasn't announced which day yet.
Right.
Edmonton takes on LA on Saturday. Edmonton takes LA on Sunday. If the Rams Cards is on the Saturday, it'll be Edmonton Anaheim. Yep. If that game's on Sunday, it'll be Edmonton LA. So we're just waiting for the NFL to announce those games, the flexing of those games. Also, Warriors, Clippers, Intuit Dome.
Get into it.
Get into it. This is all brought to you by the 780 homegrown local shop right here in Edmonton. 780 is both the shop name and their in-house clothing brand that celebrates all things unique to E-Town. Check them out online, 780.com. That's the word 7, the number 80.com, or any of their 5 locations: Southgate, Londonderry, Kingsway, St. Albert, or the Outlet Mall by the airport. 780-218-9999.
They are
Fabry.
flying in.
A few minutes. Trev will give someone a call. We'll talk to them on air. I didn't realize Eric gave you that, so I'm very happy he did.
Yeah.
At one point, you read, the inbox. I was like, you got in the inbox? Perfect.
I hacked it months ago. Yeah.
We got to get to our cool bet hotline of the day, as well as build a little bit of an EST parlay for the Edmonton Oilers tonight.
Yep.
What's that? Yup.
Yep.
You excited?
That's what we have to do.
You excited about building a parlay?
No, not really, but I'll help.
To your point earlier.
Yeah.
The Oilers are the home dogs in this one. On the money line, plus 101.
And they should be.
The Nashville Predators, minus 119 in this one.
New Jersey Devils.
Or New Jersey Devils. What did I say?
Nashville Predators.
Yeah, they're on my mind.
Yeah.
which also, by the way, the Oilers will play them possibly 3 times. Well, they're not. They're playing them 3 times because they play the Preds right away here, coming up here.
Yep.
If they do turn it around, the Oilers may have not seen them before they turned it around, so that's pretty good. But the Devils come to town. They last played Friday.
Yeah.
So they've had a couple days off. The Oilers coming off of a game yesterday in Calgary. This is, as you were telling Trev before the show,
schedule loss. Like, listen, if I'm the Oilers, you have to approach it. You have to accept the challenge that it is. But Devils are a good squad. They're a fast team. They have a head coach who knows how to beat the Oilers and has pretty consistently in his career. This just feels like if you were going to schedule a loss, this is how you schedule it. Because there's no such thing as it's unfair, but to have your opponent having spent more time in your city than you have is not fair.
Well, potentially your city. I don't know what the Devils did.
Well, maybe they went out.
I was thinking maybe they went to Bamford.
Yeah, but
I would have done that if I was the Devils. Okay, but we're gonna put the Oilers money line in there plus 101.
Yep.
We're gonna add that into this.
Okay.
Pick a player who's gonna score a point today.
Podkolzin.
Oh, Podkolzin point.
Yep.
Trev, what do you think's gonna score a point today?
Score a point today. Should I go a little bit off the board? Maybe let's
go New Jersey.
New Jersey.
We can stick with the Oilers. You could pick New Jersey. I don't know if there's anything on
Nico Heischer's red hot. Jesper Bratt always shows up. Let's go with Jesper Bratt.
Okay, you want to add a Bratt point?
You're right. He does seem to play the Oilers well.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
And then let's do Bouchard 2 shots.
That's what. Okay, I like that.
So Oilers win the money line. Put Colson getting a point. Jesper Bratt getting a point, but Evan Bouchard getting 2+ shots on goal. Okay, there's your EST parlay for today. I'll send that to the boys at Coolbet and see what we can get out of that. As for my hotline of the day, I'm actually going to stick in the National Hockey League. The other game today is Predators hosting the Kings. And the Kings on the money line is plus 120. And the Preds just aren't playing well.
No, not at all.
Not at all. And I know they're home, but plus 120. There's like a cool bet hotline of the day. Jumping on the LA Kings tonight at plus 120. So there you go. That's what we're going with today.
Yeah.
We will get to the Monday Night Challenge in a bit, so I'm staying away from the Monday Nighter. I don't really have, maybe a Travis Kelce touchdown I'd be looking at. An anytime touchdown in that one. Just because of what happened with his brother this weekend and everything. Maybe wanting to show the world like an FU to that guy type thing.
Right.
I could see him getting a touchdown. And it's the Bucs. The Chiefs are scoring a couple points tonight, I think. But their offense hasn't really exactly been lighting up.
Yeah, but
they're doing just enough.
But if you can, it's against Tampa Bay.
We'll get to that a little bit. Trev's going to give someone a call right away here for the EST Flyway to LA. Then we'll get to his Sports Center update. I will remember that time, and then we'll get to Mike
I stand by
the
the question I asked Darren Dreger that I'm a little surprised that there's not more of a bloodbath in the head coaching ranks in the NHL after what happened last year.
But do you know why?
And he talked about the Boston Bruins, and they kind of had a coach-saving win last night, 2-0 against, was it Carolina? Who did they beat?
I'll pull that up quickly here.
Yeah. Anyways, you wonder if the same might come into effect tonight in that LA Nashville game. Like
you took Boston?
Yeah.
They beat Seattle 2-0.
Seattle, sorry. They beat Kraken 2-0. I knew that. And then, except I didn't say it. I wonder if is this the game where UC Saros finally starts earning his new contract? Because if they don't, all of a sudden their head coach is in real trouble. Like there are some coaches that do really well as the underdog coach. Like they do more with less. And when you give them more, sometimes they can't elevate their coaching game to match the talent that they've been given. And you wonder about that with an Andrew Brunette.
There's been 13 coaches that have been hired since Chris Knobloch with the Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah.
Almost half the league has hired a coach after Chris Knobloch was hired by this team. And there's only 4 coaches right now tenured pre-2022. And all of those guys are actually pre-2020.
Yeah.
So in this decade, there have been 28 new coaches hired, and that's actually really only started since 2022. But I think that plays into this. I understand that, making that quick change, but there's just been a lot of teams that also actually just brought in new coaches. That can
Well,
you
but-
fire that? Like,
but-
are owners willing
but
to
that's
pay the salaries?
That's where
of
I
some of those
thought
guys?
where that's where I thought happened to the Oilers would change that a little bit, in that they didn't fire a long-serving head coach last year.
No, but did he have? I don't remember. Like, did he have 1 or 2 more years left on his deal?
I don't know about that, but like he had limited success in Edmonton, and as soon as he hit his first sort of road bump or speed bump, they got rid of him and succeeded in doing so. I just thought, like, more to your point, that there would be so many coaches that were kind of stumbling out of the gate that because of what the Oilers did, you would have had a quick reset by some organizations.
Let's get to our qualifier for the EST Flyaway. This is the Nielson Show, by the way. Matt Iwanek, Will Fraser, YouTube. Trev with here on Edmonton Sports Talk. EST Flyaway, presented by the 780. Trev, who are we speaking with?
We got Andrew on the line.
Andrew, congratulations. You are now in the mix to go to LA. Have you ever been to Los Angeles before?
Yes, when I was
When you were what? Pardon?
when I was a little kid.
Oh, little kid. Okay. Sorry, cut out there a little bit there. Is this your first time qualifying? If it is, have you been trying a lot to get into this draw?
Yeah, first time qualifying.
Perfect. And if you win, who would you take with you, and what would you be most excited to go see? NBA, NFL, NHL?
I'd take my daughter. And,
NFL. Well, congratulations, Andrew. Best of luck. You are in the mix up until November 28th. We're going to qualify people. And November 29th on the morning show, we'll do the grand prize draw. Keep your phone on because you'll have to answer to win. But if you're the winner, the boys will give you a call, let you know that you're off to LA. Congrats and best of luck, Andrew.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Andrew.
There's Andrew, your next chance to qualify coming up on the EST Hangout with myself, Murray McCourt, and Zach to come. Zach will be by as I want to get his thoughts on his time at the UFC from this past weekend. So we'll have him on. And then 2 more other chances later this afternoon, EST afternoons, as well as the Reed Wilkin Show. Coming up shortly, we will talk some NFL with Mike Tanier. 2 Deep Zone will stop by. But first, a YouTube Trev Sports Center update.
No McDavid, no problem, as the Oilers win 2 straight without their captain, beating the Flames 4-2. The Oilers will be back home tonight to take on the New Jersey Devils. Oilers and Devils, one of 2 games around the NHL this fine evening. Tom Gazzola has your GCL Diesel pre- and post-game shows starting at 5:30 right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Yesterday in the NHL, Rangers defeat the Islanders 5-2. The Winnipeg Jets remain red hot with a 7-4 win over the Lightning. Bruins blank the Kraken 2-0. Hurricanes double up on the Capitals 4-2. Wild top the Leafs 2-1, and the Blackhawks take a 4-2 game over the Ducks. In the NFL last night, the Ravens dumped the Broncos 41-20. Bills over the Dolphins 30-27, and Dustin's Lions improved to 7-1 on the season with a 24-14 win over the Packers. Just 1 game in the NFL tonight to cap off Week 9. The Buccaneers head over to Kansas to take on the Chiefs. Kickoff for this one at 6:15. In the association last night, just 3 games as the Pistons defeat the Nets 106-92. The Hawks all over the Pelicans 126-111, and the Mavericks win 108-85 over the Magic. Tonight, 15 games in the NBA, including the Raptors at home to take on the Denver Nuggets. Game starts at 6 o'clock. The Sports Update is brought to you by the great staff at Park Mazda and dealer principal Mitch Lewicki. Mitch says he'll give Matt Iwanek any car he'd like if he participates in Movember.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching a button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki in a tuxedo t-shirt because it says, like, he wants to be formal, but he's also here to party too.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
The Nielson Show featuring Lieutenant Eric. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk.
This is the Nielson Show. Matawanek, Will Fraser, YouTube Trev in the Popeyes studio. The Nielson Show brought to you by South Fort Chevrolet. We're going to catch up with Mike Tanier momentarily. Reminder, get your text in for A&W. Text of the day. I think I've got one right now. This is the favorite. Oh, I should go find this number after. Coming this winter every Sunday on EST, Battle the Beyblades, hosted by YouTube Trev. I think we could top that still, though. I think we could top that still. So get those texts in. Still to come on the show today. Kind of easy trivia. 3 questions too many. I don't have any questions. I haven't even thought of that. I need 3 questions too many. Get your 3 questions too many questions in as well. Ryan Rishaug will stop by. We've got orange and blue breakfast. There's a lot to get to. But let's talk some National Football League right now with Mike Tanier from Two Deep Zone. This is brought to you by Pro-Am Sports. Pro-Am Sports, your locally owned sports and memorabilia specialist. Visit them for NFL headwear from the best brands, including New Era and 47, located in Edmonton at the corner of St. Albert Trail, 128th Ave, online at proamsports.ca. There he is, Mike Tanier, with us here. Mike, you're with Will Fraser, Matawanek. Two Deep Zone is where Mike, you can catch his stuff. And Mike, this past week in the NFL, let's just look at last night or yesterday all day, I guess. And what really stood out to you over the action on Sunday?
Well, I learned so much. Like Anthony Richardson, I learned so much from watching Joe Flacco play quarterback last night. I feel like I'm an expert on quarterback, watching him unable to produce an offensive touchdown, escape the pass rush, figure out what to do against the Vikings defense. It was a real learning experience for me, as I'm sure it was for young Richardson.
Yeah, I think what we've learned from Joe Flacco is like you want him to come in and save your game or something, but
yes,
to count on. I'm a Ravens fan. I will always have a soft spot in my heart for Joe Flacco and bringing that Super Bowl title to the Ravens. But yeah, it's a nice story when he comes in, but not a guy you want to give the starting ball to for many weeks.
It was 13 years ago, too. That was a few minutes ago where he did that. It was a little bit of a different guy. What you learn from that is that a team like the Colts will talk about player development and nurturing and patience, and then do the most untrustworthy knee-jerk thing the moment something goes against them. And now you see this Colts team that's in a quandary because of what they're going to do with Richardson and Flacco.
Is there a less inspiring 7-2 football team than the Buffalo Bills? I mean, they get the win against the Miami Dolphins yesterday, but it comes down to a last-second field goal. A team that kind of almost frittered it away. How is their record so good considering their underlying stats?
There is a less inspiring 7-2 team than the Buffalo Bills, the Philadelphia Eagles. But and they're similar in that both of them have had slow starts constantly throughout the season. The Eagles did not score a touchdown in the first quarter until yesterday, and then all kinds of crazy stuff happened after that. The Bills tend to be very slow out of the gate against these opponents. And this happened again this week where they had a hard time stopping the run against the Dolphins. They let that Dolphins team stay in the game. They couldn't score touchdowns in the first half, even though they kept driving to the red zone. And I still think the Bills, if you look at them up and down, they are a very solid top-to-bottom team. Their losses are against other good opponents, very strong opponents like the Ravens. But they've got these little holes. One of them is they still haven't figured out that early game offense. Josh Allen is trying to spread the ball around, trying to find his number one guy. The run defense is their biggest problem, and that confuses me. They've got good defenders in the middle of the field. They were getting gouged. The Dolphins knew they could do it. And if they don't figure out a way to stop that, they face a team like the Ravens again in the playoffs. They're out. They don't have a chance. So there's work that the Bills have to do to be the team they hope to be.
Over to the NFC, the Lions, 2 of the last 3 weeks, big wins against the Packers and Vikings, divisional teams. We were talking about how tight that division was for the longest time. Is there anyone in the NFC right now that you think challenges the Detroit Lions?
No, right now they are the team to beat. They're out in front. They are probably the best team in the NFL. It's between them and the Ravens. But the Ravens trip over themselves now and then, and the Lions really haven't done that since week 2. So you have this team that, again, the only real weakness of this Lions team that has really separated itself from the division. Without Aiden Hutchinson due to his injury, they don't have a pass rush. They did have 0 sacks yesterday. So, even though they got that big win, there's still a little hole there that they can improve upon. That's a team where if they can get anything, like a Zadarius Smith, one of these old veteran edge rushers trapped on a bad team, like go get him for like a 4th-round pick or whatever, they're going to be prohibitively the team to beat in the NFC, 49ers included, Eagles included, anyone else you can name included.
LA defeats Seattle in overtime yesterday, just continuing to muddy the waters that is that division, right?
Yeah, it's so muddy. It's very muddy because you're figuring out who the Rams are. Hey, they get Puka and Cooper back, so they're going to be better. They are better, even though Puka gets ejected early in the game. They face the Seahawks team that I think is kind of in free fall. The Seahawks find more ways to shoot themselves in the foot in the red zone than I've ever seen a team manage to do. They're absolutely savants at it. And then lurking in the background is this Cardinals team that keeps winning and keeps like running the ball very well, like just a strong, old-fashioned fundamental team, catching these opponents by surprise. Meanwhile, the 49ers have injuries. The 49ers keep tripping over themselves. I wouldn't be surprised if the Rams are the one that sneaks out of this. Again, they're getting healthier. They've got the pedigree. They've got Stafford. They've got McVay, who's manufactured playoff runs, out of situations like this. They've got a lot on defense. I don't think it's that strong a division. I think a team that gets healthy at the right time could win it.
We're with Mike Tanier, Too Deep Zone, at Mike Tanier on Twitter, MikeTanier.substack.com. You mentioned that the two best teams maybe in the NFL, Ravens and the Lions. Again, I am a Ravens fan, but you nailed it there. Like, they find a way to stub themselves, far too often. Last week, they lose to the Browns. Yesterday, though, they just dominate the Denver Broncos. They dominate the Buffalo Bills. Why should I feel comfortable as a Ravens fan that this team could go beat, let's say, the Kansas City Chiefs, who they've struggled with quite often through the Lamar Jackson era?
It's tough because you open the season with this narrow loss where you've got 1 foot out of bounds at the end, so it's hard to say that. I'll say this. Ravens, going into last week's game, their defenders had dropped 9 interceptions. 9 interceptions. That's a league high. It's an incredibly high total. Most teams will drop like 2 or 3 or 4 interceptions at this point. The Browns lost 3 dropped interceptions. Obviously a big one at the end of the game. A lot of people saw right before the Browns touchdown pass. They dropped another one earlier in the end zone, let the Browns kick a field goal. The Ravens, that's almost like a luck thing. When your defenders are dropping interceptions, it's kind of like a luck thing because like most of them are pretty good athletes, even though they're on defense because they don't have the best hands. If you turn that around, that should be enough to get the wins you need and to get that defense, that pass defense, which looks like it's playing poorly, get it to be the above average unit that it can be. So that's one of the big things the Ravens can do. And they did that yesterday. They got an interception early. They limited the amount of times they let Knicks escape the pocket and dump the ball off and get a 30-yard game. You limit those things, and you're no longer stubbing your toe against these opponents like the Browns, like the Raiders.
The Monday Nighter tonight sees the 7-0 Chiefs go up against the 4-4 Buccaneers. This feels like the least compelling Monday Nighter in a long time. Tell me why I'm wrong.
No, you're right. And the one thing I find odd, it would be different if Chris Godwin and Evans were playing and the Buccaneers were at full strength. And you could say they can go out there and provide a real challenge to the Chiefs. I don't think they can do that in their current incarnation. One thing I noticed, the spread is at 9. The spread is at 9. I would take the Buccaneers all the way to cover the spread. The Chiefs, in their current form with their wide receiver issues, are more likely to slop out these wins than to just, run away from opponents.
Mike, really appreciate you stopping by as always on the Monday. Enjoy the rest of the week, and the boys will chat with you next week.
You got it. Take care and enjoy your week.
There's Mike Tanier, a Too Deep Zone. That's like most Monday Nighters. I found the last few Mondays, I'm watching football or baseball or something. That's why I haven't gone to Amazon Prime. It's a perfect night to go to Amazon Prime. I know it's an Oiler game, so naturally we're going, but it's like, this is, I don't need to watch that Thursday Nighter. I'll open up my phone every 20 minutes.
Unless you're a fantasy football guy whose week has come down to this, there is not a lot of reasons to tune into this game. And he mentioned it. The score will make you think different just because the Kansas City Chiefs don't blow anyone out. But what they do is just win. They just win football games.
Well, I'm looking at their schedule. There's 2 games. That's the only spot losses I could see potential on the Chiefs schedule. I think there comes a point we got to talk about was it be 18-0?
Through the playoffs, you mean?
17-0. So it's 17-0.
No, including the Super Bowl.
No. You play 17 games in the regular season now.
I see.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think what the number would be. They got Bucks tonight. They got Broncos next week. They're at the Bills on the 17th. Although I think Taylor Swift's in Toronto that time, but she has that night off.
Okay.
So she will be there.
Oh, thank goodness.
You got the Panthers, you got the Raiders, the Chargers, the Browns, the Texans, the Steelers, and the Broncos. So I'll throw the Steelers maybe in there as well. Steelers, Texans, Bills. Those are the games, unless the Chiefs stub their toe somewhere along the lines. I think there's going to be a point where we're going to have to talk about the undefeated season soon here with the Kansas City Chiefs.
Wow.
Who are, I would say, the most disrespected undefeated team throughout the season. 7-0. You know, Mike there saying the two best teams in his eyes, there's Lions, Ravens, like not throwing out the Chiefs. They're not generally talked about as the best teams as much.
Right.
Because they haven't been sexy with doing it. But is this just the team that is doing what they need to get to the playoffs, and as they've done last few years, turning it on in January because that's when they need to turn it on?
Because they know how to win. I don't know if you and I were on air or off air, but I said this is the closest I've seen in my sports lifetime to what we saw with the San Francisco 49ers. In that, like, year in, year out, you know that they are, when the chips are down, they'll win, right? Like, this is just that kind of consistency of personnel, head coach, everything that's involved. And not with the same, and I know there's Patriots fan going, what about us? Well, Patriots, you kind of were hot and cold. Like, now mainly hot, but like, and there was always question marks around just how much were they cheating to achieve what they did. You don't get that sense with the Kansas City Chiefs. No one's walking around going, they've had drones taping practices, right? Like, they're not Canadian soccer.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Not yet. Trev, I'm going to steal you for, we got to get to the Monday Night Challenge for Century Casino. How does that go again? Remember, like, where we go with the line and does one of us pick, I think it's Eric, or no, people just text in whether they're for or against the line.
I believe that's correct. Honestly,
and then they go into a draw. Maybe other people could text in if they know.
I feel like I should know this. I'm failing here.
I think Centric Casino is where Lieutenant Eric's actually going to be tonight. He's in town for that at least. Centric Casino, Monday Night Football. Join him. Loaded Burger on special. It's the daily special for Mondays. A great place to go watch all your sports. It's Centric Casino just off Fort Road where every day is game day. If I'm not mistaken, you let us know. Are you with the dogs or are you taking the favorite? And then if you're part of the winning team tomorrow, somebody here at EST will get in touch with you. You'll go into a draw and one of you will win a gift certificate to Century Casino. So the line for tonight's game, according to CoolBet, the latest, I'm going to go most latest, Mike Tanier had it, Chiefs -9. Are you going to ride with the Chiefs, or are the Bucks going to
keep it close?
Keep it close, keep it within 9 points. Mike Tanier there thinks that the Bucks will cover.
Yeah.
What do you think? 780-218-99 and you'll go into a draw. You think they'll cover too, the Bucks? You could keep it within 9.
I'm not gonna argue with a guy who watches this and has watched it for his entire life. So I'll go with Mike on that one. It makes sense. I mean, this is even their Super Bowl wins have been close. So the Kansas City Chiefs never make it look easy. So why would they try a Monday nighter to change things?
Yeah, that's the only thing that's keeping me saying that the Bucks will cover.
Okay, is
because it's like the Ravens destroyed these Bucks a couple Monday nighters ago.
Yes, they did.
The Chiefs could go do that, but the Chiefs haven't done it this year. That was 9 points is a lot. That I think the Chiefs are winning this football game. I don't think it's going to be in doubt.
Yeah.
But they're not going to win by 14 points.
That was the game I tuned into the Manning cast, and they had Belichick on, and Belichick said it at the time. He said the only team that can beat the Baltimore Ravens is the Baltimore Ravens. And that has definitely held up.
Yep.
Right? Like, we just talked to Mike about it. I mean, that is a team that seems unbeatable except when they choose to basically do it themselves.
People are texting in. So, text in whether you're with the Chiefs to cover the spread or the Bucks to to cover, or they both cover the spread. If the Bucks are going to cover the spread and you'll go into a draw tomorrow, we'll get in touch with somebody.
And the spread is 9 points.
And it's 9 points. 780-218-9999. This text coming in, is Dustin actually sick, or is he just living out his John Wick fantasy going after all the people who sabotage the EST internet?
That sounds like a lot of effort for Dustin. That's all I'm going to say.
To the people asking where Dustin is, he is still ill. He is still battling.
He's not doing great, folks.
He is not doing great. To somebody who said he called the game on Saturday, mid-game, he texted our group chat of EST and went, I am fighting hard to get through this. And then yesterday he said, I need to go see a doctor and get some sort of medication to heal me. And as apparently I texted Will, Dustin's now off for real medicine.
For real medicine.
As opposed to over-the-counter. So don't know when he's back. Don't know fully when he's back, but Lieutenant Eric will be back in the host chair tomorrow with Will Fraser. I will be replacing YouTube Trev, though, so we'll have a fun Tuesday.
Sure. And a Wednesday.
And a Wednesday.
And a Thursday.
And a Thursday.
I have no guarantees for Friday because that is the one day I won't be here.
I think it's just going to be Eric and I.
Yeah.
literally. I think it's just going to be Eric hosting, and I'm going to be
just
on the two of us. And
other.
we're going to have it's going to be a Friday. That is going to be a great day for just Eric and I. And the Oilers didn't play the Thursday night.
I think you'll just start beer of the week early. Just start crushing whatever we have in the back.
I still have hangout.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. The last time I hosted this was with Gager and Trev. You get buzzed beer of the week.
Oh, yeah.
If you're not careful.
Yeah.
And you don't mean to.
Well, it's because they always pour deep.
Yes.
Like deeper than you think for the taster. And you got to clear it out before you can taste the next beer.
Yes, you can't just I'll take a little sip.
You're kind of shotgunning beers.
The one guy I had really was pouring a lot. And it was one of his pours, I was outright like, that's enough.
Matthew Wannick panicked.
I was feeling a little good going into the hangout
That's
that
right.
day.
Yeah.
It's time to get the Fan Zone for Fans First. The Fan Zone brought to you by Fans First. By fans, for fans, no fees. Get your Oiler tickets all season long. Fansfirst.ca. If you want to go to the game tonight, fansfirst.ca is where you can go check. I want to jump here into the inbox, 780-218-9999. It is the Paris Jewelers inbox. Is it weird to you guys that Woodcroft is still unemployed?
Yep.
Is it to you?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not to me.
I would have thought that that's a guy that at the very least is advising, right? Like that somebody has brought in on their staff to do something, right? The guy, when you look at Woodcroft's resume, he has done everything within coaching, within organizations, from video coach all the way through. He's a handy little Swiss Army knife for a hockey organization. I don't know why he hasn't been picked up.
I think it's arrogance.
You do, hey?
I think there's an arrogance that comes. Trev?
Yeah, I think he's waiting for, like, he wants to be the bench boss.
You think he's not currently employed because he's been saying no?
Yes.
Okay.
I think he's probably just swinging out his options, and like he has
like the offers have been there, but he has declined.
I think it was Pierre LeBrun. I read article, maybe LT. He mentioned it. It wasn't too long ago. It was like 2 weeks ago, and he said he had several opportunities. He was with Tortorella for training camp, and he overlooked him. But I think he has options. But like you said, he is a Swiss Army knife. He's done a lot, but I think he's ready. He's like, no, I've been an NHL coach. I want to be an NHL coach.
It's interesting that you bring up Tortorella because when
that would have been
well, no, like when you talk about coaches that should be in danger, Tortorella should be at the top of the list because it's John Tortorella. He should always be at the top of the list, no matter how bad or successful he's doing. He is just one of those characters, and I know his owner likes the fact that he treats his players like garbage sometimes, but sooner or later, the owner wises up and says, I guess I can't just be throwing a temper tantrum. We actually have to build something here. And he recently benched, and I can never pronounce the Russian kid's name, come on.
Michkov?
Michkov, there we go. He recently benched him, and so you wonder about a Philadelphia team because they've already had a taste of a Woodcroft. Is that kind of the like wink, wink, nudge, nudge that has already gone on? That like it's John Tortorella. He won't be here long term. So just be ready and waiting.
How much longer does he
That could be an
There's
option,
a timeline. There's always a timeline with John Tortorella.
Right.
That's a guy that doesn't have, after Lightning, doesn't have the tenures that are going to last
Honestly,
7, 8, 9 years.
First of all, I would never employ a John Tortorella. I think his coaching style doesn't work in today's game with today's athletes.
I agree.
And secondly, if I was forced to employ him, he would exist within 20 game segments. Right? Like that's as long
Gets
of a
old,
leash.
like it gets old quick.
Right. Like
his
that's as
shtick.
long as a leash as that I'd let him have. And so like if he wins 12 out of a possible 20, he gets another 20. Right? Like that's as long as I would be judging his tenure with my hockey club.
I'll say this about Woodcroft too. Like, I actually wouldn't mind being the number one coaching candidate going into a season as opposed to jumping to an NHL job during a season or during an off season, because generally those teams, they're not that good.
Yeah.
Whereas you got to wait till the season. The teams that make the coaching change, they're sometimes expecting more.
Well,
like you started talking about Boston earlier. What if Boston made a coaching change?
Yeah.
You could go jump on and take over a Bruins team that if you can turn it around, you're back in the playoffs and you could,
who knows?
go on a run.
Maybe Jay's been on a whole bunch of like local market Boston hockey podcasts, because that look at what happened in Toronto, right? Like their current head coach was basically lobbying for the job for an entire year within their local media before he got it. And so maybe that's what's going on. Like maybe Woodcroft has already picked out the market that he wants and he is just going to wait for it.
This text from Minnie Cooper. Looks like the Boys are ready to go on a tear now that they don't have the anchor McDavid in his contract weighing the team down.
We talked about this on Friday. Hockey fan, especially in this market, but I think this is a kind of a universal
That's
thing.
a full joke, by the way. I just want to get that one out there.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I think that this is kind of universal with hockey fan. We play Captain Hindsight to everything that goes wrong for our franchise.
No.
Right? Like we spent the first 20 days of this season looking at the St. Louis Blues going, wow, we really screwed up there. We don't do it enough for when things go right, but ask yourself honestly, if the Oilers had not signed Leon Draisaitl to a $14 million contract, what's the number we're talking about now?
Oh, you think he can get a little bit more?
Oh yeah, I think we're all sitting around going, is he going to cost $17 million now? Like,
see, I don't think he would have, because I think there's a hometown discount.
I
think even if he didn't sign,
I agree with you.
Discount.
I'm just saying, if they had not spent the time and effort that they did to get him signed when they did, how much of our day is being spent talked about the panic that is now enveloping this franchise? Because he is not. Shesterkin is the perfect example of that. He said no to a very sizable contract extension and is betting upon himself. And right now, that's paying off. Mikko Rantanen. The reports were that they were ready to sign him right before the season began. Draisaitl signs his contract, and they they basically go, I think we'll wait and see. And now, if you're a Colorado Avalanche fan, you are sitting there going, oh crap, how much is this guy going to cost us? Like, is he going to now ask for more than anyone else on this team? So I think if you're Oiler fan, not only are you happy that they're successful, but you don't even realize the anxiety that you're not experiencing because they signed Leon Draisaitl when they did.
The Fan Zone, brought to you by Fans
Fan
First.
Zone.
I like how you just like throwing those out there with everything.
Fan Zone.
That's really great. I'm enjoying that. Reminder, EDmontonsportstalk.com. At the very top, it says Shop EST. The pop-up store. It's the final week of the pop-up store. That will close on Sunday the 10th. So you're going to want to get, if you want some any EST merch, you're going to want to get in on that this week, because once that closes, there's no way to get merchandise with Edmonton Sports Talk until the new year. We won't have anything else for sale for the rest of the year. Shop EST, all thanks to our merch partner, the Hive Product Marketing, the Hive Product Marketing, official merch partner of Edmonton Sports Talk. Promotional products that bring the buzz, the hiveproductmarketing.com.
Nailed it without even reading it.
That one I know.
You're a pro, man.
That one I know.
You're a pro.
The Hive, I've got
I don't
that
care
one
what Eric
down.
says about you. He's wrong. You got this.
That one I've got down perfectly. If you're a Nasty Club member, click exclusive offers inside the Nasty Club, and there is a discount code for that as well. Well, I'm going to read the questions.
Yeah, well, we got kind of easy trivia coming up.
You want me to read the questions?
Always.
You couldn't read the questions?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'll give away the answer. I'll be too excited.
Okay. Well, I'm excited to. Is this?
It couldn't get more
It's-
easy than this kind of easy trivia.
You want to know something? I do think there's a chance the fifth one will be wrong.
Yeah.
If I had a guess, you want to know something? I think I'm going to predict 3 of 5.
That's all you need, though.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's all you need.
I'm going to predict
3 out of 5.
I'm going to predict 3 out of 5
All
on
right.
this one. I want Trev to see this after. Trev, while we return,
Yes,
come grab
I'm
this, take a look,
curious.
and take your guess of what you think people will do. There's been a tough
Roger
stretch over the last few weeks on kind of easy trivia. Like it
Yeah,
should
it's like
be
batting 500. Pretty bad.
we should be at like 95%, 98% or
Right.
something, and it's not.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to view it from that perspective. As long as they don't stumble out of the gate with the first 2,
Right.
they should be able to get one of the final 3.
And if they do, they don't deserve to win. If they
No,
stumble
I
out of
don't.
the
I
gate.
don't ever feel bad for someone not winning kind of easy
Yeah,
trivia.
exactly.
And I also like there is a part of radio is like, do you really mock someone that's tried to win? And most of the time, you shouldn't mock your listener or something.
If you're playing something called kind of easy trivia,
blow
the
it,
mock is
well,
expected.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like it's the one where there's a couple that you're just like, how?
Yeah.
How? A teeth, for instance.
Yeah. If you are,
It just wasn't
if
there.
you're sensitive to mockery, don't play something called kind of easy trivia.
Or undersell. Like, don't come in and be like, I've got this.
Yeah.
5 out of 5, no problem. And then stumble on the very first question.
Yeah.
This should be 5 out of 5.
Yeah. Oh,
But
don't flash it.
They can't see. Oh, he's also got the split camera there, right?
Yeah.
But I'm going to say 5 out of 5. 3 out of 5. That's my prediction.
I think, there's people out there with the Blade Runner technology. Enhance.
Here's what we have
Enhance.
Here's what we got in the last hour of the Nielsen Show, presented by South Fort Chevrolet. There's a lot going on in the next hour of the show. And South Fort Chevrolet, drive a little, save a lot. Go see Daniel and his family-friendly team at South Fort Chev. Tell them EST sent you and get an additional $1,000 credit on your trade-in vehicle. We've got kind of easy trivia for Mr. Mike's GC. We got 3 questions too many for Park Mazda. We got to get to That Hurts for James H. Brown. Ryan Rishaug will stop by for the Monday morning Got Your Back mandate. We got the orange and blue breakfast for Podium Physiotherapy. We got the wrap for William Huff. I don't think I'm missing anything else. Your text as well, because we got to award text of the day. And also, I need 3 questions too many for Park Mazda.
Yeah.
But if you want to get into kind of easy trivia, text kind of easy trivia if you want. Pick me, text whatever to 780-218-9999, and Trev will call someone right after his sports update to play kind of easy trivia. I'm thinking you should get at least 3 out of 5. But strive for better. This is the Nielsen Show. Matt Iwanek, Will Fraser, YouTube Trev. Here's a sports update.
No McDavid, no problem as the Oilers win 2 straight without their captain, beating the Flames 4-2. The Oilers will be back home tonight to take on the New Jersey Devils. Oilers and Devils, one of 2 games around the NHL this fine evening. Tom Gazzola has your GCL Diesel pre- and post-game show starting at 5:30 right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Yesterday in the NHL, Rangers defeat the Islanders 5-2. The Winnipeg Jets remain red hot with the 7-4 win over the Lightning. Bruins blank the Kraken 2-0. Hurricanes double up on the Capitals 4-2. Wild top the Leafs 2-1, and the Blackhawks take a 4-2 game over the Ducks. In the NFL last night, the Ravens dumped the Broncos 41-20, Bills over the Dolphins 30-27, and Dusty's Lions improved to 7-1 with a 24-14 win over the Packers. Just one game in the NFL tonight to cap off Week 9. The Buccaneers head over to Kansas to take on the Chiefs. Kickoff for this one at 6:15. In the association last night, just 3 games as the Pistons defeat the Nets 106-92. The Hawks all over the Pelicans 126-111. And the Mavericks win 108-85 over the Magic. Tonight, 15 games in the NBA, including the Raptors at home taking on the Denver Nuggets. Game starts at 6 o'clock. Take your career to the next level with Claiborne Services. They are hiring all positions, including journeyman bricklayers and apprentices of all levels. Take advantage of their outstanding mentorship program and work with peace of mind, knowing they're an industry leader in safety. Visit www.claiborneservices.com or make it easy and give Jeff a call at 780-910-6728.
I got a big shot off this stick of mine. I keep those lanes wide open all the time. Drysidle setting up shop, McDavid's flying. I'll hit the twine when I walk the line. As sure as new G is slick and Kane is tough. We're going all the way this year, enough is enough. And we can play 'em straight or we can play 'em rough. I'm feeling fine when I walk the line. You know I shoot that puck so very, very hard. The name on the back of my jersey says Bouchard. And we're gunning for first place, not a wild card. I'll hit the twine when I walk the line. Well, we're counting on our skill and not on luck. And it's gonna get real when they drop that puck. And we won't be done until we hoist the cup. I'll hit the twine when I walk the line. I got a big shot off this stick of mine. I keep those lanes wide open all the time. Drysidle setting up shop, McDavid's flying. I'll hit the twine when I walk the line.
This is the Nielson Show. Matawanek, Will Fraser, YouTube Trev with you here live on Edmonton Sports Talk. Tune in, iHeartRadio, EdmontonSportsTalk.com. On TuneIn, we're also wherever you can get your podcasts. We're live in the Popeyes studio here on the west end of town. Don't forget to text us 780-218-9999, Paris Jewelers inbox. You can shop in store online, parisjewelers.com. Get those texts in for the text of the day for A&W. And, of course, the Nielsen Show, presented by South Fort Chevrolet. Some breaking news in the National Football League. The New Orleans Saints have fired head coach Dennis Allen. This after losing to the Carolina Panthers yesterday.
Yeah.
That'll do it to you.
What a turtle derby.
Seventh loss in a row. Do you remember at the start of the year when everyone was like, wow, this team's really good.
Yeah.
Look, 2 straight wins. Best team in the National Football League.
Out for
and whoop. That kind of didn't last there. So, yeah, the first coaching firing that second coaching firing in the National Football League because the Jets fired Salah. Am I missing anyone else? Or has it just been the team?
It should be my Bears, but it's not.
It might. Hey, maybe Mike McCarthy is a guy that should be fired at some point.
Mike McCarthy hopes he gets fired. Like there's no chance he gets fired because Mike McCarthy's role in this world is to associate himself with nut jobs and take all the abuse.
We will get to Ryan Rishaug later on. We got to get to 3 questions, too many for Park Mazda, but first, kind of easy trivia. For a Mr. Mike's gift card. Let the festivities begin. You're invited to the Mr. Mike's Fiesta Fusion. Celebrate the flavors of their new Mexican and Spanish-inspired features. Eat locally, enjoy casually. Mr. Mike's Casual Steakhouse. GC on the line. Trev, I think I've got the ticker here. I've got Clubly Loops.
I also have a ticker.
I don't have Roseanne. Oh, your ticker's longer, isn't it?
Yes.
That's
Dusty
what she
is.
said. Hey-o.
Dusty has talked about the length of my ticker for quite some time.
I'm going with this ticker.
I agree. That's
with these questions.
But can you read it quick enough? That's the question.
They're not that long.
Okay.
And the first question doesn't count.
Okay.
Because it starts the first question after the ticker, or it start the ticker after the first question.
Yeah, but it's one of the shortest questions. 4. Okay. I think, yeah, you should be able to get 5 out of 5. So I'm going to believe in today's contestant.
I'm saying it's going to be 3. I hope it's not. I hope it's more. But I think it's going to be 3. Trev, who's playing?
Roger's giving it a go today.
Roger, how confident are you right now in in executing and succeeding at Kind of Easy Trivia?
Cool. After your guys' pre-chat, the heart rate's pumping. I'm a little nervous.
Come on, Roger.
We're
you
saying
got
this
this.
is easy. You should be
You
able
got
to get this.
You guys are talking it up like I might be in trouble.
Have you ever played before?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, here we go. So what happens is you got to get 3 out of 5 to win. I will start the ticker after the first question. Are you ready to go?
You betcha.
Okay, here we go. Who did the Oilers play last night?
Calgary.
Who do they play tonight?
The Devils.
Prime Video is offered by what online retailer?
Netflix.
Name one NFL team playing in tonight's Monday Nighter.
Tampa Bay.
Who are the defending Super Bowl champs?
Casey.
Ramos gets a nipple erection.
Well, a legitimate 3 out of 5.
Just a dream, it's a wet dream.
It was 3 out of 5.
He did get the last answer.
He did.
Correct. Just not on time.
Frustration sets in and the emotion goes
So
out.
3.5 out of 5.
And then you
Let's
just
give him
start
3.5.
blaming yourself.
Is that dirty?
Yeah.
You cannot come to my house. No.
Which is a real over-under
Cannot
killer.
come to my
but,
house.
The most accurate score we could
Not
give him.
today.
I will say, he got wrong what I thought he was going to. I thought the Prime Video one people are going to get wrong.
Yeah. It is
That
the
was
one that
one.
most people get wrong about Prime Video, though.
Because I think
when
it
you're
was
like,
about rattles.
hey, did you see this new blank show?
Yes.
And they'll be like, no, I haven't. And you're like, well, it's on Prime Video. And they're like, yeah, I get Netflix. I haven't seen it. And then you have to explain to them that there are other streaming services out there other than Netflix.
Chad saying he lost. No, he didn't.
No, he didn't.
He said Flames. Who did the Oilers play last night?
Yeah. Well, he said Calgary. Yeah.
Calgary.
That counts.
Who did they play tonight? He said Devils.
Yeah.
Devils.
Yeah.
And name one NFL team playing in tonight's Monday Night. He said Tampa.
Yep.
And then, as like if we had the longer ticker, maybe he would have got it.
Mhm.
But who is the defending Super Bowl champions? He did ultimately say the Chiefs.
Chiefs. Yeah.
Didn't get it in time in this ticker.
I think he said KC.
And then Amazon.
Amazon
is the correct answer for Prime Video. He did say Netflix.
Yeah.
So no, Roger is the winner, and he'll be going to Mr. Mike's. I knew the Prime Video was going to get some people. That's the one I was.
I think we're doing a service though. If you are out there going, I thought Prime was Netflix, you are wrong, and you need to download the Prime Video player to watch tonight's hockey game.
Oh, he comes into the nasty chat, says I was being a smart ass too about Netflix.
Oh, I thought he was being clever.
Interesting.
That's.
He still won. Oh, I like this. Rip City Step. I thought for sure it was going to be Dustin doing Kind of Easy Trivia.
Yeah.
That would have been great. You want to know something?
Yeah.
Okay, he should be able to do a phone call. He's always giving the questions.
Right.
Maybe we need to get him doing Kind of Easy Trivia one day.
Yeah.
And he has to feel the pressure of the ticker.
Right.
And the idea that Roseanne Barr might be coming on the back end if you don't do it right.
Considering his current health state, it might be too much for him.
Amazon Prime. That's where you can watch the Oiler game tonight. You can't watch it anywhere else legally. Amazon Prime. Not on Sportsnet. Not on Netflix. Amazon Prime. Be prepared for that tonight. That when you go to watch Oilers Devils at 6:30 after the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show at 5:30 with Tommy and Hernan, you go throw on your TV to Sportsnet, the game's not going to be there. And you go, why is the Preds taking on the Kings right now or whatever's going to be on? Amazon Prime. It's the way of Monday nights.
Yeah.
I think the Oilers have 3 or is it 4? 3 or 4 Amazon Primes. This is the first one they get. We got lucky last Monday it wasn't on Amazon Prime. The game was just on TV.
Yeah, it was I think it was a Maple Leafs game last week.
I think more people would have actually preferred that last week's game was on Amazon Prime against Columbus, so there was an excuse not to watch the Columbus game. But yeah, no, tonight it is on Amazon Prime, so be prepared for that.
Changing 100.
Hey, we got to 100 likes. Look at us go.
Nice.
Late. I was late on that one. We're almost at 200.
That's really late then.
I know.
Thanks for showing up. No, we appreciate it. Yeah.
Jimmy Onishi. The Dusty not sick enough to call the CFL? No, Dusty thought he was going to be fine for the CFL, and he literally texted during the game saying he can't believe he's making it through that. So he's now gone to a doctor to get proper medicine to get back. Hopefully the doctor gives him something that he could be back midweek. We just don't have an ETA on that, so we'll see what the doctor says.
I've said this before, so this is not a new complaint, but I blame Tammy.
What?
I blame Tammy. Listen, first of all, she's an accomplished parent. They have 2 kids between themselves. She knows how to raise a child. I just don't know why she's not using that experience and expertise with her husband. Because it's clear that's what he needs. You can't just let him figure it out himself. He won't. You need to give him guidance. Yeah, exactly.
Time now for 3 questions, 2 menu, brought to you by the great staff at Park Mazda. Dealer principal Mitch Lewicki. He knows what ails Dusty. He just needs a new vehicle from Park Mazda, your dealer for life. ParkMazda.ca.
That put some pep in your step.
Getting a new vehicle from Park Mazda?
Yeah.
Trev lied to me earlier, but he said if Mitch lied on it, if Mitch is offering me a vehicle,
It wasn't a lie.
I will grow that mustache.
I will grow that mustache.
It wasn't a lie. He told me it. I know he did.
3 questions, too many for Park Mazda. I'll start with are you guys ready for the world of streaming sports?
Yes, I'm absolutely here for it. The more the merrier. I actually think that it could lead to fewer commercial interruptions because there will be more commercial integration into the broadcast itself. Like if you have not already watched a prime broadcast of, for example, the NFL Thursday Nighter, which they've been doing for a couple of years, they're embedding barcodes into the screen itself so that you want to buy a new jersey or something or a new toaster, they'll actually flash the barcode rather than play the commercial, so you can just scan it with your phone and bring it right up then and there. So it's broadcasts of your sporting events have always been about pushing a product on you or multiple products, and the more streamlined it can get, the better, because commercial interruptions are the biggest downside to live sporting events.
Yeah, I just don't see how leagues are going to give up on the commercial advertising component to just go that way.
Well, if you're Amazon, for example, you're buying the broadcast. You get to set up the broadcast however you want.
But at some point, there's more money to be had with the commercials.
I agree.
And they'll always look at where's the added money.
Mm-hmm.
Where can we get even more money from? Or if subs are down, it's, well, how can we make a little more cash? We'll just throw some commercials in our broadcasts.
Yeah.
And we'll broadcast those things. I'm just not prepared for the idea of, well, I don't like the buffering or not the lag. Like it is, and I'll have to watch Prime. I'm not going to tonight.
I think your complaint probably has more to do with high-speed internet in this part of the world.
There's 2 complaints I have somewhat with this. One is the fact that I like being on Twitter while watching a game. Is it going to be faster?
Yeah.
Than Amazon Prime? And that has been an issue in the past with certain products, and you don't get that really with TV. The other one is, how many subscriptions do you need to watch your sports nowadays? And at least if you go back when I was younger, you always had, you didn't get everything, but you had the games that was on free channels to a degree. If we go subscription wise, if that's the model that we go to, people will never get sports for free almost again in one way. And it's like, okay, well, which way do you go? Do you go the Apple or the MLS way, where you just jump in on one streaming provider and customers only need to buy one product? Or do you go the way of, okay, we won't, if you're the NHL, we won't going to be on Netflix, we're going to be on Amazon and Sportsnet Plus.
Yeah.
And you're going to need 3 subscriptions to watch all your games.
Well, I'll say this.
That's a lot.
I'm probably biased because the Amazon Prime, it comes with my Prime membership. Right? Like it is already a bundled service, right? You get your free 2-day shipping, you get your Amazon Music, you get your Amazon Video, right? And at a price that is less than you'd be paying for Crave, for example. So this is why I kind of like it, is because it brings some competition back into this, right? That it used to be that broadcasters got their set rate from the cable company. And so there wasn't actually competition between the channels as far as not just we're going to bid on this property, but we also might actually make our streaming service cheaper than the other one. This actually allows that to happen. I don't know if it will, but it does allow, hopefully, fingers crossed, at some point, some actual competition between the streaming services as well, which, in my opinion, is good for the consumers. Actual competition is good. Cable is not competition. Cable it's a utility. And so I would prefer competition over a utility.
Red in the Paris Jewelers inbox. When I watch football on DAZN, they do nothing but play the same 3 commercials on a loop. It's lazy and annoying. So if it's on cable TV, I'll switch over and watch it there. I've seen some broadcasts of ESPN Plus, and they don't do anything in the commercial breaks. They just put like a graphic up saying we'll be right back, and I hate that.
Yeah,
I need at least music or something. Like you got to put something on for me in between. Otherwise, just get rid of the commercials.
Yeah,
give me just a live feed.
Apple TV on their Major League Baseball broadcasts just like leave the mics hot.
See, and I can understand not leaving the mics hot even, but at least give me a graphic, like like we have the fish cam, iCam here in the studio. Yeah. Give me that of the stadium, and let me look at the stadium. Yeah. Give me something as opposed to a screen of "We'll be right back." I think Sportsnet kind of does it too on Sportsnet Plus. Yeah.
They just go to they just go into the in-house feed, right? Video feed.
Yeah, they have a few commercials, and then after that, it's commercials or that's that spinning
the commercial
wheel.
Break or whatever.
Yeah, they'll be right back, and it tunes you off. You know, whenever I get that, I'm just like, it's just silence in the room, and I'm just like, well,
it's awkward.
I don't know what to do. Yeah, I don't like it. I couldn't agree more with you, Matty.
Get some commercial like free music, and give me something. Just a camera something that I could watch and see what's going on of something. Put a fish bowl up if you want, like an actual aquarium. Put that up if you want. But give me sound and give me something I can look at.
When we first started in radio together, Matty, I don't know if you remember this, but I do because we had the ESPN radio feed.
I love the ESPN radio.
The ESPN radio feed leading into my morning show, and so for like my hour of prep, it would just be ongoing. And what was great was that they just kept their mics hot. And so they would go to commercial break. Their affiliate stations would run commercials. But if you were listening online, you just got the hot mic. And so you would just hear these guys talking about their days or the movie that they'd just seen or complaints that they had for, is that Dustin?
I think that's Rishaug.
Is that Dustin? or complaints that they had about their kids or whatever. And I was there for that. Like I don't need 100% commitment to the game that's going on. Just give me something interesting to listen to. And you would always have these like on the breaks, them having to respond into the hot mic going, yes, we know our mics are hot. Like we're just talking about, I don't know, the John Wick movie we just saw. Like, we'll be back from a commercial break in 2 minutes.
Yeah, got to be a little careful with that one.
Yeah.
Question number 2. Which team, I asked this to Matt Dunigan. He really didn't know where to go with this. So I'll pose it to you, Will, and our listeners. Which of the 2 teams that won the semis this weekend has a better chance of pulling off the upset and going to the Grey Cup?
Toronto, easily. Yeah, easily. I like any team's chances of walking into Montreal with a win than I do with any team walking into Winnipeg and getting the win.
And just that Toronto's hot. Toronto's playing good football right now. And Montreal is not.
You're right.
Flip side.
There's more layers to it, but just when it comes to home field advantage, I don't know if there's a tougher building to win in a must-win game than Winnipeg.
I thought Montreal's going to be pretty rocking. It'll be fun to have been there, but I'm like... And when you have to stop Brady Oliveira, and then there was also just the experience. While the Owls got the Grey Cup win last year, the Bombers have gone through the West 4 times in a row, 4 straight seasons. So they know how to do it. So I'm with you. I think the Toronto, they're the more likely of the 2 teams to get through. And question number 3, today's National Candy Day. What's your favorite candy? Do you have one?
Oh, I got so many.
Trev, you got a favorite candy?
Yeah, like chocolate bars count, so I'd probably go with a chocolate bar of some sort, maybe a Mars bar. That's my favorite candy.
Yeah, I'm going to go
Mars
with
bar.
Turtles.
Oh, Darn. Okay.
Does chocolate count as a candy?
Well, you call it candy bar.
Listen, you're setting the rules.
Right?
Are you
Candy bar?
saying that
Chocolate
chocolate
bar?
can count?
Okay,
as
well,
a
I'll read what the nationaltoday.com has for National Candy Day. We hope your sweet tooth is ready. These sweet and sour treats have been our favorite snacks since childhood. They're hard, chewy, fruit flavored, or a melt in your mouth, not in your hand sort of treat. Candy has been a consistent source of happiness as we get older, nostalgic. It seems like I would say it's more the candy.
Okay, so
like M&M's would be a candy in that sense, I think.
Okay.
Because it doesn't melt in your hand, but not
I
an
do have
actual
an easy
chocolate
answer, though.
bar.
It's Sour Patch Kids.
I was going to go Sour Patch Kids, too.
That's one of those, like, no matter how full you are, you can always have more.
Twizzlers for me in the end.
Okay.
Give me a bag of Twizzlers and I will crush the hell of them. And I will take Twizzlers over Red Vines still, even though Red Vines are absolutely fantastic as well.
Yeah.
It's a tight one for me.
Yeah, no. Give me a bag of Sour Patch Kids.
Also, old part of me does like wine gums still.
Oh, gross.
Love wine gums.
Yeah, of course you do.
I know. I knew you would like that
you're
one.
You're a pervert. Jeez Louise.
Not the
Jeez.
biggest sweet tooth kind of guy. Yeah, I'm not really big into candy. I don't mind Sour Patch Kids. Like Maynard's, I feel like they know what they're doing. They're really good. The Fuzzy Peach are pretty good.
I like
but
a wine gum if
like
it's
very
been sitting in my
rarely-
pocket for a day.
No.
Really
Very
soft.
rarely I dabble with the candies, but they're the candy.
What a sicko.
What else? Yeah, no, I don't. Oh, Nerds. I'll go with Nerds. I like
Oh,
those.
great choice.
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah, Nerds.
That's nostalgic. That brings me back a little bit.
Wine gums are not fun. They're good. I don't know.
What is
Laura's
that?
saying
A
yes.
wine gum?
Yeah,
Wine
that's
gum,
what he
yeah.
said.
I don't know what that is.
I'll have to bring them in. Actually, there's those little frogs or blue whales. Green frogs. those are
Yeah,
like
Swedish fish
I
are
don't
always
know if I
solid.
can-
Coke bottles are Coke bottles are solid.
Sour keys.
Oh, like those. You ever have those like they look like
I mean,
little
candy.
balls?
I think at
They're
this
like
point it's just
Coke-flavored
evolving into
Coke
the fact that
balls?
we
Is
like
that a thing?
candy, right? Like,
Although, like somebody saying Skittles, I can only eat so many Skittles. Like after like 9 or 10 Skittles, I feel like it's too much actually.
yeah.
I need to
ever
give it
had
to my wine gums.
Coke balls? You ever had the Coke balls?
Coke balls?
Yeah,
No.
they're like they look exactly like this. I'll show you guys.
Oh yeah.
And they taste like
Oh
Coke.
yeah. They're
Like
the
Coca-Cola,
silver. Yeah.
obviously.
And
Very
chrome.
good.
They taste like Coca-Cola and chrome paint. Yeah.
This is correct.
There's no way that's good for you. Right?
National Candy Day. There's 3 questions too many for Park Mazda.
And then there's the Dutch. Like their love of salty black licorice is wild.
I have grown to like black licorice.
Of course you have. You like wine gums,
Just
you
like-
pervert.
Candy corn. Actually, I ate some of the stuff Eric brought in on Friday.
Yeah.
I like it. Was not bad. That pork gelatin.
That pork
really
gelatin
goes down.
and confectioner's shellac really goes down smooth.
Before we get to a sports update, and before we get to Ryan Rishaug, I do got to get to That Hurts, which is brought to you by James H. Brown, Alberta Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law. If you've been injured in an accident, go to jameshbrown.com. That hurts being a Cowboys fan today. Not only is your team losing football games, not only did you're watching Derrick Henry do with the Baltimore Ravens and your owner sitting there going, we don't want to sign him. But you also have to watch your quarterback yesterday on the sidelines say, "We bleeping suck." Caught on camera, Dak Prescott going, "We bleeping suck," and there was obviously no bleeping part. He actually said the word. It hurts today being a Dallas Cowboys fan. If you are anyone else, you're loving this. But if you're a Dallas Cowboys fan, that hurts.
You know what
Watching
else
your
hurts?
quarterback tell you what you already know, and that's you suck.
What else hurts is poor YouTube Trev's fantasy hockey team, as Philip Broberg is lost to a lower body injury. What's going to happen to your team now, bud?
That's not a thing. I do not have Philip Broberg on my team.
Listen, your
I did see
your
that.
Blues
Yeah, that's
Broberg
tough.
jersey just came back from.
I told you to keep this quiet.
Yeah,
Will.
I don't know what you're going to do.
This was a secret.
You are the biggest Broberg fan I know,
yeah.
and it's killing you that he went down with a lower body injury. In all seriousness, though, like if you're a Blues
felt
fan,
bad. That hurts.
That hurts big time. He was co-leading their
hurts
team in
him.
points. Like he's been an absolute stud for
been
your team.
awesome.
And he goes down with a lower body injury. Once again, I don't know if he'll ever play 40 games in the NHL. It's still yet to be seen if he'll hit the 40 game mark.
Rob from the Grove. Yes, Matt. Wine gums are the best. Boom. Also saying Swedish berries. I like that one.
Okay, so
just throwing that one out there.
We know that there's more than
dinosaurs.
Just
Oh, dinosaurs are great, especially when they're sour ones and stuff.
Like I said, this is just evolving into that we like candy.
Name all the candy in the world. We will get to a sports update with YouTube Trev, and then it's good that your Got Your Back Monday morning mandate as Ryan Rishaug will stop by here on the Nielson Show, presented by South Ford Chevrolet. Mattawanna, Will Fraser with you here. Here's Trev with an update.
This just in. The Saints fire head coach Dennis Allen after winning their first 2 games of the season. They have now lost 7 straight, including last night's game to the Carolina Panthers. Allen had been with the team since 2022, posting an 18-25 record. No McDavid, no problem, as the Oilers win 2 straight without their captain beating the Flames 4-2. The Oilers will be back home tonight to take on the New Jersey Devils. Oilers and Devils are 1 of 2 games around the NHL this fine evening. Tom Gazzola has your GCL Diesel pre- and post-game show starting at 5:30 right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Yesterday in the NHL, Rangers defeat the Islanders 5-2. The Winnipeg Jets remain red hot with a 7-4 win over the Lightning. Bruins blank the Kraken 2-0. Hurricanes double up on the Capitals 4-2. Wild top the Leafs 2-1. And the Blackhawks take a 4-2 game over the Ducks. In the NFL last night, the Ravens dumped the Broncos 41-20, the Bills over the Dolphins 30-27, and Dusty's Lions improved to 7-1 with a 24-14 win over the Packers. Just one game in the NFL tonight to cap off Week 9. The Buccaneers head over to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. Kickoff for this one starts at 6:15. In the association last night, just 3 games as the Pistons defeat the Nets 106-92, the Hawks all over the Pelicans 126-111, and the Mavericks win 108-85 over the Magic. Tonight, 15 games in the NBA, including the Raptors at home taking on the Denver Nuggets. Game starts at 6 o'clock. I'm YouTube Trev, and you've never been more up to date. The wait is over. Sit and Sleep is now open. Celebrate with 20,000 square feet of savings on the trendiest furniture, home decor, and mattresses. Apply for your Sit and Sleep card today to make no payment for 18 months interest-free and be entered to win your purchase up to $5,000 on furniture and home decor next to Planet Fitness in South Edmonton Common.
Timberlake rocks.
Is that a mandate of yours?
God, what are we talking about here? Good question. Can some of it be about sport? Yeah. All he needs to do is just get in front of people and state his case. If they had the mandate from the people, blah, 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 I don't know where that information came from, but I would question it.
Time for the morning mandate with Ryan Rishaug.
This is what sports broadcasting is all about.
You know what? That may be a good point, Ryan.
You broke the story, Ryan.
Rishaug is one giant 6'2" pile of Charmin.
This is the Nielson Show. Mattawanna, Will Fraser, YouTube Trev with you here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton Sports Hangout coming up just after 9 o'clock. Myself, Murray McCourt, Zach to come with you. We got the Lock Shop. We got Oil Stream, Reed, and Tommy today. We got EST Afternoons, the Reed Wilkins Show till 5:30 because we got the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. But right now here on the Nielson Show, it is the Monday morning Got Your Back mandate with Ryan Rishaug of TSN as well as of Got Your Back. Him and Jason Broadwick had a post-game pod yesterday. Shoggy, how are you today?
Solid, man. Look at this dynamic duo. Hey, Phrase?
Were you expecting this when you woke up today?
It's like 2009 or like what the hell's going on here? I love it, buddy. It's great to see both of you guys.
It's about as relevant as 2009 as well. It's good to see you too, Ryan. It's good to see you too.
You too, Phrase. I have to say, Phrase, of all of us, you've probably aged as well as any of us. Your hair is as on point as it ever was. I would say you have better hair now than you did then. You've gone a little more Gregor-esque in your choice of glasses. Like naturally, you've just got the great, kind of naturally tan skin tone. Like you have aged better than most of us, I would say.
You're making me blush. I call it giving a crap. That's all. Like that. That's my secret.
You're trying harder?
Yeah.
You're trying harder?
Yeah, exactly.
You've evolved. Maddie, we don't count you, Maddie, because you're not old enough to have aged. You're just still young. How old are you now, Maddie?
I'm not young anymore, but I'm not old. I'm 33. Soon to be 34.
We'll start talking about you aging at like 38, 39.
Before we get into some Oiler talk, this text comes in. Make sure you ask Shoggy who won in his golf sim match with Josh Clausen. Did you and Clausen have like your own version of the match?
Yeah, no, actually, we didn't compete. Television's Graham Neal, former CTV entertainment reporter, and Josh Clausen came along with Graham's son Spencer. And we spent a few hours in the sim reminiscing about old times and the biz and all that kind of stuff. Josh and I did not compete. But I will say the guy's got some game. He was bombing it around in there pretty good. Long irons are good, straight down the pipe. There's definitely some skill there. And rumor has it he and Cookie might have even golfed on the weekend. I believe there's still, was it Cattail still open or something like that?
Was Cattail still open?
I don't know. All I know is he invited me to golf Sunday morning, and I was like, what? So, yeah, Josh is serious about the game. And I think the biggest reason why he came over is because he, too, wants to put a simulator in his garage. And not so much asking me how to do it or looking at my setup. It was more about how can you convince your wife to let you do it. That was more I think, what he was needing from me.
How did you get this done? I need to know. What's the secret to this?
I know.
He golfs I think throughout the summer, most mornings at like 6 a.m. for at least 9 holes or something. So he better be.
It's commitment.
He's been getting better. Shoggy, what did you make of the game last night between the Oilers and the Flames?
Yeah, well, another good start. The Oilers are showing up on time. Leon Draisaitl has his details dialed in. When McDavid got hurt after that debacle against Columbus, one of the things that I was really focused on was Leon Draisaitl really needing to be the absolute best version of Leon Draisaitl. That with Connor McDavid, sometimes with McDavid in the lineup, there's kind of room for Draisaitl to, be Draisaitl a little bit, right? Sometimes the body language goes a little bit, or the willingness to. We sort of see some of that from Leon Draisaitl at times through the year, right? I think he lets frustration creep through his game a little more often. But with McDavid out of the lineup, there's no room for that, and Draisaitl has been mint. He's been spot on. He's been back checking. He's been forechecking. He's been dumping and changing. He's been stopping and starting in his own end. Like, Draisaitl has been fantastic since McDavid went down. And, I think we all knew he was capable of it. And it's not like he hasn't done it before. He does it in big games when he needs to. But he has truly led the way with McDavid out. And I think that's huge for this group.
Is there an X and O's answer to why they're better without McDavid, or is it just an attitude thing? Because to my eyes, the Oilers with a Connor McDavid enter every game feeling like they're up 2-0. And the last 2 games, it's looked like they feel like they're down 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, and I know you didn't mean that they're better without Connor McDavid, because they're not. But I know what you mean, though, Will. It's like, I think it's like when Dusty's not there, right? When Dusty is not there doing the show, you two are kind of going to buckle down a little. Like, Maddie, you're tight with the notes. You're tight with the content. You got to sharpen up the reads, everything. Will, you make sure you press your nice bright shirt, right? Like, when the big guy's not there, you kind of know, all right, it's going to be a little bit more on me today. And I think the players definitely sense that. I think naturally they get more opportunity. I think it's just human nature in some ways. When you've got a rock star who rocks the house every night, maybe sometimes you get caught watching a little bit too. So with no Connor McDavid and with the season having gone the way it's gone, I think it's just a super attentive group. And that disaster, I mean, it was so bad the night McDavid got hurt in Columbus. It was one of their worst games, and I don't even know how long. That had to be a slap across the face, too, and realizing, okay, without him, if we aren't attentive, it's going to be a train wreck. And I think it was in that game. So, yeah, they've paid attention, and they've all dug in, and they've all had a little bit of a bigger piece of it.
Vasily Podkolzin, is he making his general manager's days a little bit brighter?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. We were chatting last night on the show. Like, I think somebody wrote in and asked us, like, what's a reasonable expectation for success with Vasily Podkolzin, right? Maybe over this next year or so. And I kind of thought, well, if by this time next year, or if after next season, he's put together kind of a Warren Fogle-esque season, kind of that 16 to 20 goals, somewhere in that range, moonlighting, third line, maybe at times up a little bit, sometimes on the fourth line, but kind of that middling 9 forward. I mean, that'd be great for Vasily Podkolzin. And I think, the Oilers have a player who is showing some signs of being able to do that. The one thing I don't understand, you guys, so I'm down at the rink. I can tell you, Vasily Podkolzin is one of the first ones on the ice for practice. He's one of the last ones off the ice after practice. He's constantly working on things. He works hard in games. He finishes his checks. He's conscientious. He fights or can fight for his teammates. He's starting to make some play. How did Rick Tocchet not like this guy?
Right. No,
How much different is he right now than he was there? Because this guy seems tailor-made for Rick Tocchet.
Well, it's interesting how you described what is success for him, because we've absolutely moved the goalposts on that question. Like when they acquired him, I think what we would have said was success was a regular roster spot. Full stop, right? Like that he doesn't spend half the year in the American Hockey League. That would have been considered success at the time. And now we're looking at it going, why would anyone give this guy up for a 4th-round draft pick?
Yeah, second organizations, right? Sometimes these high pedigree, high picks that don't pan out in their first organization, a lot of times it's the first sobering slap across the face that these players have had in their careers, right? Because they're very good from a young age, highly sought after, high draft picks, and so they come in not having experienced a lot of letdowns in their career, right? And that was the case with Podkolzin. He was excellent everywhere he went. All these different events that he went to was talked about. He gets to the NHL, and it's a gut punch. It didn't go the way he would have wanted it to go. And so whatever those reasons are, you all of a sudden are traded, and you're like, wow, first of all, I'm not even a lock to be in the league anymore. Second of all, they don't want me anymore. They just traded me. I think that can be a pretty significant wake-up call for some players. I believe Rafi Torres maybe had something similar happen to him. Was he not? Oilers were a second organization for him.
Came from the
I can't quite remember.
I think it was
came from the Islanders. Yeah. Was he a reasonably high pick too? So I'm digging a little bit back into the vault there. But point is that
in 2000 went from the Islanders to the Oilers.
Yeah. So second organization guys, sometimes you can unlock something. A humbling moment that puts them in the right headspace to get back to work. And that's probably what we're seeing here from Podkolzin, because if this is the same person, player, work ethic, everything that Rick Tocchet had, I don't know how Tocchet wasn't able to make it work.
We're with TSN's Ryan Rishaug. For the Oilers, how do they make the penalty kill start working? What do they have to do to turn this around and get it going a little bit better?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, why were they so good before? Well, they were good at denying entries, which I think they're struggling with now. They were good at always being in shooting lanes and pressuring teams and taking away time and space. And teams seem to be able to move the puck around on them a little bit right now. They still have a lot of the core pieces left, but they have lost some pretty darn good ones, right? Vinny Darren took up a lot of the seaweed man, took up a lot of space out there last season on that penalty kill. Cody Ceci, pretty good penalty killer there as well. Like they had some guys with foot speed. Ryan McLeod was a regular penalty killer that could really get around. And the one thing he was good at was pursuing pucks and clearing them because he had such a great first 3 strides. So they're struggling a little bit with the flipping personnel. And it's the same reason why the Oilers' power play with the same personnel can dry up and go cold. It can happen to a penalty kill as well. And we're seeing that with the Oilers' penalty kill. But that said, guys, I would say special teams last night were critical for them. In that third period, you got a power play. It wasn't pretty. That's not how you draw it up. No. Kind of a weird entry, but it ends up in the net. Put it on the board. That's a power play goal. And then the kill came up with a huge kill. Brett Kulak did some amazing work on the kill. And so the power play and the penalty kill last night combined to help win them that game in the third period.
Yeah, that power play goal was a classic veteran play that doesn't get shown on the score sheet in Matthias Ekholm, right? Like a lot of guys would have been tempted to kind of reset back into their own end. Instead, he pushes to the blue line and kind of catches the Flames flat-footed just by his decision-making there. It's
he had the delay too.
Stat that shows up for him on that play, because that was a pure Matthias Ekholm goal.
Well, and he had to delay to let his teammates check up as well, right? Yeah. So there was a delay there, then a little chip pass, then Draisaitl does what he does. They attack with speed. speed and it ends up in the back of the net. So, I mean, Struds was kind of laughing last night about, power play goal. It wasn't really your prototypical power play goal, but at the same time, we know this power play will take whatever they can get. And that's a big one for them. That's a big difference maker in a game on the road where they'd let a lead get away. They lean on special teams in the third period. And I think a period like that, special teams wise, I think that can help you.
Am I crazy for liking a scrambly Stuart Skinner? This guy is always so calm, cool, and collected. I kind of like it when he looks like he's kind of fighting a little bit because he seems a little bit more engaged into the game.
Like Scrambly when he goes to play the puck, Scrambly,
Right,
you
well,
mean?
exactly. He was the difference maker in last night's win. He was the better of the two goaltenders. Yeah. And there was many parts of that game where it looked like he didn't know where he was or the puck, but he was successful.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not a goaltending coach. I think if you were to poll 10 goaltending coaches and say, do you like your guy calm and in position or flopping around all over the place? Yeah. You'd probably say, well, how athletic is he? Like Skinner. Yeah, Skinner is probably at his best when his game is a little more calm and when he's a little more positionally sound. But I think maybe what you're talking about, Will, is kind of like battle level, right? Yeah. When a guy just looks like he's there, he's ready to battle for pucks. It can be a little unconventional, but he's in the battle. Yeah. And I definitely think, that attitude can be good for Skinner. He's turning his game around here a little bit. Like he's had some blips. We've all seen it, but he's starting to get it on track a little bit. He's made some key saves at points in games where the Oilers have needed him. So I think that's rounding into form nicely for them. And that's a really good sign as well. Every bit as important as special teams.
Ryan, you got another pod coming tonight after this game?
Yeah, you bet. We'll drop one after the Devils and the Oilers tonight. By the way, I was on a couple of weeks ago talking about Strud's impersonation of Rodney Dangerfield. And it's become a regular piece of sound on the show, but I think enough time has passed now. I think I can kind of put it out for the rest of the world. So Struds out of the blue dropped a Rodney Dangerfield on the show, and I'd just like your guys' perspective and thoughts on the quality of this. You ready for this?
Yep.
Jason Strudwick as Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah, get the respect.
Okay, one more time for you.
Yeah, get the respect.
We have had everything from the worst ever to that was unbelievable. People are so split.
I was going with that's pretty good.
Yeah, the rasp is on point, right? Yeah. Like the back of the throat sort of Rodney Dangerfield. It's not bad. And appropriate as well, because if there was a player who got less respect than Jason Strudwick, I didn't see him. So, kind of appropriate that he's got a good Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah. I'm going with if thumbs up, thumbs down. I'm giving Struddy the thumbs up there.
You know what? He made the mistake, though, after it got a laugh.
Yes.
He tried to follow it up with more, and it just got worse and worse and worse and worse.
Walk out.
No, he needed to just leave it alone at that point. He needed to just
get the respect.
And then let it go. But like a couple minutes later, he was like, oh, my mom didn't breastfeed me when I was a baby because she wanted our relationship to be platonic. And he started sounding a little bit more like Goofy and started trying to do some of the bits. He totally trashed it after that.
Ryan, not bad one yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
not
thanks.
a bad one there yourself. Pretty good.
That was me doing Struds doing a bad impersonation. That wasn't my Rodney Dangerfield, which, by the way, I'll bring it out at some point this year, but that was not it, just so you know.
Well, that one wasn't too bad either. I'm just going to throw that out there. Maybe we're just in the Monday happies here and giving you guys all the accolades. But, Struddy, just if you get a joke, you get a laugh, leave it.
Just leave it. Just let it. Just leave it be. Take the win. Take the win.
Always.
I'm going to get ready to head down to the rink, guys. Yes. I will be stopping at the drugstore for a big old pack of licorice all sorts.
Is that your go-to candy?
That's my go-to. And you can let the chat just unleash on me now because, yes, I have the candy tastes of a 70-year-old lady, but it's okay.
Ew. That's all
They're
I can say.
So good. All the different textures, all the different ones. Oh man.
Yeah, but you're from a big family, right? Like
pretty big.
Yeah. And that's a perfect candy for a kid who never wants to share.
That's actually a good point by you. Will, you kind of look like a licorice all sort right now, bud. That shirt you got on, that reminds me of that little, can we get a picture of one of those little sandwiches? One of the little black and white licorice all sort sandwiches?
Oh, gross.
That shirt.
Ryan, have fun at the rink, and we'll be sure to check out your pod later tonight.
All right. Thanks, guys. Have a great day. See ya.
It's Ryan Rishaug of TSN and the Got Your Back podcast, which we'll have.
He pulled it off. He left on a high note.
He did.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
That's how you do it.
I was not expecting licorice all sorts as his favorite candy.
No one expects licorice all sorts.
I don't remember the last time I had them, so I want to go try them again.
I instinctively, like, you know how you don't need a warning on certain things? Like, that's one of them. Like, you just approach that bag and you're like, nope.
I will say, it wouldn't be my go-to ever.
How could it be? It's disgusting.
I'm not, if I'm driving somewhere, I'm like, I could only pick up one piece of candy because I want some candy going to the rink. I'm not going with the all sorts licorice, but also I haven't had them in a long time, so maybe they're actually way better than I expected.
Yeah, you're the kind of sicko.
I like wine gums.
You're the kind of sicko that tomorrow morning you're going to be like, you know what, guys? I tried them. I think this might be new number one.
There's a good chance of that.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a chance of that. So
I liked his impression of an impression because those are my favorite impressions. In fact,
I liked both of them.
Yeah,
straight up.
Yeah,
I liked both of them.
Struds screwed up because Struds didn't laugh like Rodney Dangerfield.
Oh, he can't.
When he laughed at himself.
Struds gets too excited and he has to do his own. We got to get to the Orange and Blue Breakfast is brought to you by Podium Physiotherapy. Knee pain from the nagging ACL injury, hip or shoulder pain, slowing you down, back pain after long days at work. We've got you covered, whether it's a sports injury, post-op recovery, or the wear and tear of everyday life. Our expert team is here to get you back on track. Podium Physiotherapy, NHL caliber treatment for the everyday individual. Book now at physiotherapy.com. Oilers have an optional skate today. So there's not much we're going to have there. So I'd fully expect the lines to be the exact same as yesterday. Nugent Hopkins, Skinner, Hyman, Drysdale between Colson and Arvidsson, Henrique in between Janmark and Brown, Philp in between Kajula and Perry, Ekholm, Bouchard, Nurse, Dermott, Kulak, Emberson defensively. The only change I'm expecting to see tonight is Calvin Pickard in net for Stuart Skinner, as you just generally don't play the goalie on a back-to-back. So that would be the big change I'm seeing tonight for the Edmonton Oilers, or what I would expect. As for the Devils, we mentioned it earlier in the show. They took on the Flames on Friday, so they've had 2 days off while the Oilers are coming in on the back end of a back-to-back. Scheduled last night.
Well, I don't know.
That's what we'll see.
We'll see. Calvin Pickard in between the pipes for the Oilers tonight.
That often can help a team.
That can
make a team
sometimes inspire them a little bit.
Although I'm generally I like the mindset of actually flipping the goalies around. I like my starter playing on the back end of a back-to-back as opposed to the backup, because the team in front should be more tired. So you'd hope that your starting goalie, who's a little fresher, could step up. But this is how it's going to go. This is how it is. We'll see how the Oilers go out there tonight. Our cool bet EST parlay we built, it is up. But Colson and Bratt both have 1+ point. Bouchard 2+ shots. The Oilers to win plus 850.
Jake Markstrom gets to take on the team that convinced him that he didn't want to be a Flame anymore. So we'll see if that has any sort of an effect. He is the least predictable goaltender out there, in my opinion. As far as top goaltenders go, Jake Markstrom can be, in my opinion, a top 3 goalie in the NHL, and then also the reason why you're not winning the hockey game. So we'll see which Jake Markstrom shows up in between the pipes for the Devils tonight.
And there is your Orange and Blue Breakfast. We got to get to the wrap. Jeez, we're coming up to the end of this. The host of the next show is going to be upset. Oh, boy. Don't want to piss off that guy going late into the EST hangout.
The joke is, it's you.
It is me. Murray's here. Zach's here. So we've got the EST hangout coming up just after 9 o'clock as we'll get you set for the Oilers game. We'll talk. Murray was at the trade shows filling out his pro shop.
Yeah.
So he goes and looks at what everything is. So I'm excited to find out what he's seen at those shows. Zach was at UFC, so we'll catch up with how is UFC here in Edmonton. But the wrap for William Huff. If you want your place to look good as ours, visit team at williamhuff.com. In business since 1952. So you know they're incredible at what they do. They're also involved with the CFL stuff, everything you saw this weekend. That's William Huff. That's Bruce and his team. Sound of the day. I would have taken now Rishaug's sound for sound of the day, but I couldn't cut that up.
Yeah.
So I don't really have anything here. A little bit of morning mandate music.
The entire mandate. That's your sound of the day.
Timberlake Rock.
Yeah.
Is that a mandate of yours?
It's
God,
both
we're talking about good
Struddy
question.
as
Some of it
Rodney
be
Dangerfield,
about
and then Rishaug
All he
as
needs to
Strudwick
do
as
is
Rodney
just
Dangerfield.
Get in front of people and state his case. If they have
I didn't really have anything else for
No,
sound of the day.
that-
We don't play any other
sure, man.
sounds today. There's your.
I mean,
sound
you're
of the
not the regular host of this show.
No.
Heck, you're not the usual backup host of this show.
No, I usually don't want
So
to be
what are
part
the
of this show.
expectations at this point?
That's a very good point.
The sound of the day today is just you, man. Your dulcet tones all morning long.
Text of the day. Oh, Rishaug sent me a picture of his candy.
Ew.
Look at that. There's you though. He sent the picture of you.
Yeah. This is more of a blue and white what I've got going on.
Yeah, but
I see
it
what
looks
he's
like
going
black.
on.
Yeah, I see it.
I see what he's
that?
got going on.
So Trevor could look at that
Yeah.
like a little closer. You could see they're about the same.
It's
on
not
it.
a bad take.
Yeah, it's the white and black licorice all sort. That's what he is. Text of the day. I'm giving it to Dr. John. Is Dusty actually sick, or is he just living out his John Wick fantasy, going after the people who sabotage the ESD internet?
They keep asking me if I'm back, and I think, yeah, I'm back. Except he's not. Ironically, he's
not bad.
I have never seen a John Wick in my life.
Of course you haven't.
Yeah. Not missing much.
That'd be too normal. How do you why do you do this to yourself?
I don't do anything to myself.
You do this on purpose. Like they've been playing John Wick on every streaming service that there is for over a decade, and you have purposely seen it and went, nope, I'm not going to watch it.
Do you know how many streaming services I personally pay for?
This gives me the thing that I can in conversation.
No, I
I
just
can
don't
drop
need to.
this
I'm
in the
good.
future.
I'm pretty
It's
good.
more valuable for me to never watch it than for me to actually watch it.
You know what's great is it annoys you. This makes me happy. What did we learn today? Will, what'd you learn today?
You know what? I'm not going to say that I learned this. I know this about myself, but I'm still disturbed by it every time I have it reproven. And that is, I am a toxic fan who should not watch hockey. Because once again, if you tell me at the beginning of the day which stat makes me happier, I'll tell you which one it is. It is not that the Oilers have won 4 of their last 5. It is that the Flames have lost 5 of their last 6. And I am a toxic fan because of that. I enjoy the misery of other fan bases more than I enjoy the joy of our own.
Trev, you learned anything today?
I learned Dennis Allen was fired. That's a good one. We all learned that, actually. I learned, all sorts licorice? Never heard
Licorice
of that
favorite
before.
candies.
Never
Yeah,
knew
'cause
that
you're
was
not
a
a
thing.
7-year-old.
Yeah.
70-year-old?
Yeah.
It's considered old people candy.
Interesting. Yep, never heard of it. They'll probably won't have that.
Even when it was first invented, it was invented for the elderly.
Yeah. I'll have to dive into that. See if it's
I'm
good.
pretty sure it keeps you regular. Like,
Yeah. What else did I learn? I learned it's 18-minute drive from my new place to here, so that's not bad.
sir, that's not candy.
It was
That's
like
stool
16
softener.
16
I don't
minutes,
care.
maybe.
16 minutes?
16
in the morning.
minutes. Yeah.
In the morning.
Yeah.
Did you have to you don't take the Henday or something?
Took White Mud.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then just drove
Straight
by
down the
whatever
White Mud.
road that is.
Yeah.
The West Ed Road.
170th?
Yeah, that's it. Bingo. So yeah, it's a little bit quicker. It was like 25 minutes from my place.
Really? That
Yeah.
long?
Depends on the day, yeah.
It takes me probably about 18 minutes, I think, from my place.
I hit 111th, a lot more lights.
Hell of a conversation, guys.
We're just saying things that we learned, Will.
This is what we learned, Will.
I learned that I miss doing shows with you, Will. I never. In the Hangout's not the same.
No, it isn't.
It's not the same as doing this. And I've
That's right.
never hosted with you. I've always been your producer,
Yeah.
but I've never hosted
That's because
with you,
usually Tommy Gazzola is there, and let's just say he doesn't add a lot.
You always come in when Tommy's not here going, oh, Tommy's not here? Because you're sad that Tommy's not there.
Well,
More
he's-
so your
He's
wife.
gorgeous, and my wife will actually tune in if she knows Tommy Gazzola's on. So
Thanks, Elizabeth.
I don't think she's the only wife who feels that way.
What are we watching tonight? Oilers, Devils,
Yeah,
Amazon.
we're watching Prime. That's what we're watching, folks. May I throw this in like as a little pre-gamer for you, like you've already got Prime up.
Yep.
You can now stream Northern Exposure on Prime. And if you've never taken the opportunity, it's like a glass of red wine or crawling into a sleeping bag. It's just a pleasant place to be for a little bit. So enjoy it. Just go spend an hour in old Sicily, Alaska.
You can go to Centric Casino and watch the Monday Nighter with Lieutenant Eric, or you can watch the GCLD's Oil Stream pregame show, 5:30. Tommy, Hernan, they'll get you set for the game. There's not Duke's playing in men's basketball on the ACC network.
Do we care about Duke anymore?
Yeah, they're my team.
Yeah, but it's
I'm a
not
Blue
the
Devil.
same anymore. It's not the same anymore.
Why not? Just because Coach K's not
Yes!
there? Doesn't matter.
Coach
It's still
K's
my
not
team.
there.
It's still my team. Trev, you watching anything else besides the Oilers game? Or is that?
No, just the Oilers game. I'm going to try to maybe go to the Oilers game.
Oh,
I know the lady said she might have some cheap tickets for us.
Okay.
So, going to go there. Can't watch it at home. Still don't have Wi-Fi. So, I'll have to figure something
Figure it out, Luke.
Yep.
Get it together.
Can't wait.
Luke's not setting it up today. I thought he was setting it up today.
Tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock.
What a slacker.
Getting the day
He's
started.
Ryder
with some
fans.
Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Eric can't even come to work today. Can't even set up Trev's internet.
He
till
could have come
Wednesday.
to work. He could not have driven home yesterday. That's the issue.
Eric's back on the morning show tomorrow. Will be Eric, Will, and myself. Coming up next, it is the EST Hangout. Myself, Murray McCourt, Zach to come. Your next chance to qualify for the EST Flyaway presented by the 780. Later today, 2 more chances to qualify for that on EST Afternoons as well as the Reed Wilkin Show. Will, Trev, this was fun. Thank you.
Let's do it again tomorrow.
To a degree, yes.
Yeah.
To a degree, yes.
Have fun tomorrow, boys.
We will.
Will,
Thanks.
You're doing great.
Everyone for tuning in on your clear choice for Edmonton Sports, the Nielson Show presented by Southport Chevrolet on behalf of Will, Trev, I'm Matt. Thanks for tuning in, and I will talk with you in just a few minutes on the EST Hangout. Don't go anywhere.